moment for people to get in here. I'm sorry for the technical difficulties we were experiencing. I'm still really not sure if I have it fixed, and I won't be until someone shows up. My other phone is usually my monitor for this sort of thing, and it is out of commission right now. So I am making the adjustments possible. Um, the microphone button says that it's working right now. I muted it earlier when I was trying to get things started. It obviously got stuck in the off position somehow, and the people in the chat were having a tough time hearing me. So I've restarted the entire stream. I'm not sure what the technical difficulty there is, but I'm hoping that we have sound now. So whoever has popped in with me here, if you would confirm that you can hear me now, that would be really helpful for me. If you cannot hear me, please let me know in the chat because I am trying to fix this. And the sound's okay now? Thank you, DXB. We had some technical difficulties. I'm not sure what caused it. I did have to mute the button on the channel at the beginning so you didn't hear a million different things going on rumbling around the house. Maybe it got stuck or something. I'm not sure. When I tried to turn it back on to start this, we will be battling the usual fun of a little flickering from crappy signal. I don't have Wi-Fi right now. We're using the backup phone, but at least you guys can hear me again. I will try to make this one as short and sweet as possible. I just have one package I want to share with you guys, and as everybody makes their way back in here from the little sound check fiasco, I will get back around to opening this package and showing it off to everybody. So I'm just trying to give everybody a minute to rediscover that we're going again. Apparently everybody can hear me now. That's good. If we do have any loss of signal, I apologize ahead of time. I am still living in a hole with no Wi-Fi. This is our backup phone camera that we usually use. So without Wi-Fi, I'm having to use my crappier phone, and I'm having to use the signal down in the hole in the middle of North Carolina's valleys. Nicholas Matlak, I'm glad you are here at least, sir, because this is the package that you sent to me to surprise me with. I'm very much looking forward to opening this thing. It's been riding around with me for hours today. I really wanted to open it, but you can see yourself, sir, it has not been opened yet. All of it is still sealed up and nice. So I don't know what's in here, and that's what makes this fun. Hello, Skip. Thank you for coming over and joining us. Everybody, I know you guys were doing a great job on it the last time before I bombed out the sound somehow. If you don't mind hitting the like button or double tapping the screen to get the number up going up. That way we can get this out to as many Lock Sport viewers and lovers as possible. Mountain Mick would highly appreciate it. Seems like there's a bunch of you already getting over here. I tried to do my best to let everyone know ahead of time when this one was going to be. I actually got this package from Nick, who is in the chat, as I was walking out of my house this morning. The FedEx man passed it off to me. So I've been dying to open it all day, but I promised Mr. Nick Matlak that I would wait until I could do it on live stream. So we will find out together what is going on in there. Thank you, Mustang, my man. Please do like and subscribe. That will be the easiest way in the future for you to know when I'm going to be doing one of these things. And you'll get to enjoy some of the future content I have for you as well, such as my neck tattoo from Sparrows and any of the other awesome Lock Sport things I have going on. Yes, Delbert, we seem to have figured out what was going on, or fixed it at the very least. I think it would be a little bit untrue to say we figured it out. YouTube does a lot of strange things, and when I went to unmute the microphone, it looked unmuted on my side, but for some reason you guys clearly couldn't hear me no matter which way I switched it. So I had to restart the whole stream. That's okay. I'm glad that it at least happened in the early beginning parts of the video, so that way we didn't just have one big silent film being filmed. Cheese grits. aka Western Masker Lock Sport. Glad you were able to drop in, my friend. You're at work, so you can't stay. That's okay, Cheese Grits. This will not hopefully turn into a 4-hour stream like the last one. I'm just here to show off a package that Mr. Nick Matlak sent me. I got it this morning. It is from Covert Instrument. I will tell you that before we get to the opening part of the video. So for anybody who's anxious to see what kind of Covert Instrument Mr. Matlak has sent over for Mountain Mix viewing pleasure, I don't think you guys have ever got to see Mountain Mix Shamrock. I got this one when I was in college, when I was 19. The guy who did it, he was #1 at the time for freehand Celtic tattoos in North Carolina. I got it done in Salisbury, North Carolina. It is my current favorite tattoo. I also have my cross here. I have a number 11 here. My birthday is November 11th, so the 11 is just very special to me in that way. And very soon, on one side of my neck, or all of it, or whatever they decide to do, I will soon have a very, very awesome looking new Sparrows tattoo. I can't show you what it's going to look like until it's on my neck, but I'm hoping that they will put it on some other stuff very soon afterward. It's really awesome. I've seen it in an email about a month ago, and right now I am just working to get all my passport stuff squared away for any potential travel that Uncle S has decided he may want me to do in the future. But we are definitely still very much on for that. I spoke with him via email at the beginning of this week. Everything is still very well on course for that. Elijah, I'm glad to see you made it back over. Yeah, Skip, I couldn't tell you, but it's not that I wouldn't so much as I couldn't, sir. I promised Mr. Nick Matlak that he did not tell me. And Mountain Mick is one that loves surprises. My good buddy Mr. Happy is a friend that loves surprises. And clearly my buddy Nick Matlak is one as well who likes to send surprises. So I have no idea what's in this package. All I can tell you is that it did come from Covert Instruments, because that is where the address is out of. So, in just a moment, I'll be opening it, sharing it with all of you, and I'll be adding it to my collection of wonderful Lock Sports stuff, thanks to Mr. Nick Matlak. Nick is awesome. You probably have heard me mention him before, because he sent me this beautiful gem here, my favorite Marks Slimline Euro practice lock that I'm using. It's one of those grub screwed ones. I got a series of videos on that. Really appreciate you sending that over to me, Nick. That thing has taught me more than playing around with all of my regular locks. But it is good practice to have a practice lock and then some real locks, because if you spend all your time with a practice lock, you're only going to get good at picking one keyway. And tolerances will be different, and keyway will be different on the multitude of other locks. So it's good to learn the pins through a practice lock, but very good for you to practice as well on, you know, a big old box of other locks. So always have plenty of locks on standby for your fun. So that way you can get your pick on. You can take a few down the road with you when you need to practice. And that's the way I like to do my stuff. All right. It is at the 9-minute mark now, and we're already like 20 minutes past my originally scheduled time. So let's get into it, fellas. Everybody who wants to be here is probably already here by now. Anybody filtering in, they can just join us in the enjoyable part. And I don't want to make people wait too long. I like to deliver on Mountain Mick here. So, without further ado, let's get into this Nick Matlak CI Covert Instrument package and see. Oh, almost karate chopped the entire phone off. Gotta be careful with your sharp knives, guys. Anyway, let's get this thing open. Let's see what Nick Matlak has sent over to me to further my Covert Instruments journey. I'm glad you sent this, Nick. Let me just say ahead of time that it is well known by lots of people that I'm affiliated with Sparrows, but I very much make an effort to use my Jimmy Longs, my new Peterson, and my new Greyhounds. And I'll be showing my greyhounds off again in a second because I really love those things. And some of you may have seen the video I recently did showing them off, as well as putting some shrink tubing on them so they're a little more comfortable. Oh no, Mom, don't call right now. My goodness. Oh no, don't do that. I'm gonna have to call you back, Mom. Don't interrupt the stream. Oh my goodness. My mom finally calls me back. I've been trying to get a hold of her all day. I hope that didn't mess it up, guys. You're still with me, right? Everybody's still here? My Mustang man. This is an Ozark Trail copy. It is basically a clone. Okay, thank you, everybody. My mom tried to call. Mama Mick tries to call. I've been trying to tell her about something all day, but I will call her back after. She very much knows what we have going on here and very much supports it. So she will understand when I let her know I was in the middle of the one thing I had planned today. I'm going to show the package, but Mustang Man asked me about the knife, so I'm going to go ahead and tell you really quick. This is an Ozark Trail. It cost me about $10 at Walmart. It is awesome. I did use my dad's Cutco sharpener to edge it up a little more razor sharp, but I almost cut my finger on it opening it the very first time. So it comes pretty sharp, and again, it is a clone of a Benchmade, and yeah, exactly, Delbert. 15 bucks. I got it for like 9 and some change, man. So it just depends on the Walmart you're at. But this particular one I saw Dean P using in one of his videos, so shout out to Dean P. And yeah, it's just a clone of one of those Benchmade, the Bug Out Mini. I think they charge like 100 plus, maybe like 160, something wild for theirs. But it's still a D2 steel knife. I noticed just the other day that the pocket clip is actually drilled on both sides. So if you're a lefty and you want to have an ambidextrous carry knife that has a really good flip, I don't even use the flip thumb switches, because if you pull the lock blade back, you can sling it out there pretty easy just using that. So it's a pretty sweet knife. I put the lanyard on it myself. DNP's actually sending me a package with some stuff, and it's going to have some paracord in it. So soon I'll have some really cool black paracord braided up and on this thing. But I keep it with me pretty much all the time. And then, of course, my Escort lives in my pocket under that. Having my knife clipped in my pocket at the top pretty much keeps this or anything else from trying to sneak its way out of there. I'm sorry, Western Massacre Locksport, I got you. I would never make you wait, brother. I know you're a pushy man, but I like your style. So without further ado, here's the goods, my friend. I know you got to go, ooh, wow. Nick Matlak, I did not have this before, and I've been telling you guys I've really been wanting to add it. I was putting it off for a couple of other sets I've been dying to get my hands on, but wow, sir. Way to spoil Mountain Mick. And if you guys are trying to bring me to the covert instrument side, you're doing your work well, I can tell you that. Mr. Nick Matlak originally sent me, let me show that really quick just because. He originally sent me a few McTicklers. This is one of those. Just yesterday I added this little bit of comfiness to it with some of the excess from the other ones that I did. But that's not what we're here to talk about today. I just wanted to mention how good Nick has been to me, and how I have already got started loving these things. So, very much excited about this, Mr. Matlak. I will, of course, go ahead and open it up. I've been waiting all day, hoping that's what was in here, if I'm honest. I did do a little Christmas time shaking and squeezing and kind of cheating a little bit, but to keep it genuine, I wanted to make sure that I opened it with all you guys here. So thank you, Nick. Thank you extremely from my heart for sending this over to me, my friend. All of my friends keep telling me, you got to get one of these sets. They're fantastic. I've always told them I actually do have intentions of getting one. Always have. Even in the beginning, when I ordered all my Sparrows and Jimmy Longs, I've had my eye on this set, okay? I know it does great things. My boy Skip, He uses these things pretty much as his go-to. I think they've made him, from what he told me today, a full convert. I know he started out a Sparrows man like myself, but I believe that he has gone to the covert side. And that's okay, guys, because the way it really works in life, you want to have the best of everything. You want to play with all the good tools you can get your hands on. Whatever makes it the most effective is the way to go. And that's what you want to do. Oh, isn't it? Cool. Excellent. Oh. So there we go. Apparently, I've got me a full-on Reaper here. It's packaged up all pretty the way it comes in one of these numbered sets. It does have the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 etching on the bottom. I'm just showing it off now for anybody who has not seen the set or seen the Reaper before. I know many of you already have one, so I'm not trying to be redundant for you guys. But as for the rest of us who either have not had one or have not had the pleasure of having our hands on one yet, let me just say that I've been very much anxious to get one of these sets and try it out. I do have big hands, but that has not stopped me from enjoying picks of this size. As you know, recently I got my greyhounds, and they're in the same ballpark of size. And because I did start out with a set from Mr. Greg Potter and one of his Locksport bundles, I have been using the FNG set for pretty much my entire journey. So that is why I've always felt good about telling people, yeah, these are solid, great tools to work with. This little FNG hook right here has opened many a lock for Mountain Mick, okay? So if you're thinking about getting an FNG just to get started out on, Mountain Mick approves. A quint rake and a single hook will probably pick you all the way up to green without much issue. If I'm being honest, all these other tools are because I'm a tool addict. There become some necessities when you get into higher security pin stuff or smaller, skinnier keyways and Euro stuff like the beautiful locks that were sent over to me by Neil W., my friend from the other side of the pond. And because I have many friends all around the world, I like to try locks from all around the world when I am blessed enough to have the chance. So, I like the way Covert packages everything in these Ziploc baggy kind of things that they come in. That's a nice touch. I always save these to put some of my Locksport gear in. They're very handy. I'm also very fond of the little sleeves that traditionally come when you order just a few. My Greyhounds did come in one of those sleeves like I'm talking about. I always save those. They make a great stash case or carry case for your EDC tools. Now, what I will say also, while I'm on the subject of this beautiful Reaper set here, I'm trying to keep up with you guys in the chat, but I'm honestly a little bit astounded with this Reaper set right now, so you're gonna have to bear with me. I'm having a kid on Christmas moment here. Let me look back through here real quick. Cheese Grits, you know you're my brother. I like that you give me a hard time and heckle me. If I heckle you back or ever seem short with you, I'm not sure if you're still in here right now, but I want you to know that it's all in good fun. I got nothing but love for you, brother. Whenever I heckle you back, know that it is out of love and friendship. So I think you already know that. I just want people to understand our humor and friendship is based out of that. So when they see us harassing each other, they don't get the wrong idea. But you're a great guy. Thank you for coming out to support me even while you're at work. I highly appreciate it, sir. Delbert says he's at least ordering the Turners and the Garrison case. Yes, Delbert, that is one of the things I was just going to get to, okay? Something that me and Skip were talking about earlier when I was talking to him, because I talk to Skip every day. Skip is like the big brother I never had. So, Skip, thanks for always being there for Mountain Mick to have a listening ear that he trusts and that he knows cares about him. You've always got a place in my heart, brother. Me and Skip were talking about this little turner right here. This little turner comes in the FNG set with the quint rake and the 25 size medium hook, and it is a point 0.4, or I'm sorry, 0.040. It's etched on one side. Mountain Mick is a big fan of tools having the etching on them. Having color coded stuff is nice. I'm very used to, because I'm a mechanic, having all the sizes etched on my wrenches by the companies. So, companies who make these tools, really pay attention to that, please. I don't know what the costs are that go into engraving them versus acid etching them, but my good friend Cheese Grits, who was just in here, um, he did a very beautiful etch job doing an acid etch on his challenge lock in a video recently. And I gotta believe that if a guy like Grits, no disrespect to him, this is a big compliment. If a guy like him can make it look that pretty and professional sitting at his house, then a big company like you guys can take the a little bit of extra effort for what you're charging us out here to make these little adjustments and make us all happy and easy to read stuff on here. Terry B. Pickin! Sir, I am honored greatly to have you here, Terry B. The first time I saw one of your pics was that one that you sent Pocket Women recently. It took my breath away. I had to share a picture of it with everyone as soon as I saw it. That thing is beautiful, sir. Well, then, just the other day, I was in Art of Lock picking on Facebook, as I am a lot, and I saw the one that you sent to Greg Potter. Sir, Mr. Sir Terry B., you make the biggest, best, most beautiful pics I've ever seen in my life, sir. Every time I see one of your pics, I literally just am sitting there open mouth gawking at it. You make absolute art, sir. So I just want to tell everybody in the chat that I'm honored to have you here, even for the moment that you have to stop by. Thank you, sir. I will probably try and get with you when I get a chance and try to get my hands on something pretty like that. But I'm still trying to pick my way to worthiness of such a tool. I'm still one of the noobs of the world. I've just got over 2 months barely into this picking stuff. I'm coming along well, but I am trying to tighten my skills up every day to be worthy of all these tools and all these friends that I have gained. So big shout out to Terry B. He's making the most beautiful picks I've ever seen. That is not to take away from any other of the pick makers in Lock Sport. Um, Out of respect for Terry B, I will not be listing them off right now. But if you guys search around, you'll see there's a lot of other guys out there making some pretty stuff. But let me tell you, Terry B, in my humble opinion, um, like I said, guys, every time I see one of his picks, I almost immediately know he made it, and that in and of itself speaks to the level of quality that he's putting out there. So, just wanted you guys to know how highly I think of the picks that Terry B are making, and the people who are actually using them are a much higher level of picker than myself. So they definitely need to come with a level of respect. When you see one of those picks, you are looking at legendary status pick. Okay? So, I will move on now. And thanks everybody in the chat for saying hello to Terry. I can't believe he made it over to one of my lives, and I'm super honored to have had him along here so I could tell him just personally how much I enjoy seeing the work he's putting into those things. Artisan craftsmanship is something very near and dear to my heart. I went to NASCAR Technical Institute, and I'm very much the same about motorcycles and cars. I love to see the customization that can come from just the two hands of a very experienced um, expert. Let me see. Okay, cool. My battery pack is going to stay alive with us, so excellent there. Alrighty, so I believe we were talking about turning instruments before I got sidetracked by a legend entering the chat. So I was talking about how me and Skip were talking about the FNG set coming with this turner right here. I have made no problem of mentioning to everyone that out of all the turners I owned early in my picking experience, this very quickly became my go-to turner. Okay, it is one of the double-sided windshield wiper style, but it is a double side for the purpose of bottom of keyway as well as top of keyway. It's got a nice decent wide side on this side, and then something that I think is truly genius and works fantastic is this one works good for top of keyway because it's got the short on it. However, it works excellent also on this side as a bottom of keyway because of this little bit you can see cut out of the top there. That extra little ridge missing from it there really makes a difference when you're in a tight lock and you have a certain pick that you want to get in there. Because what ends up happening is if you use the fat side and you're in there, you may have your hook from your FNG set have not quite enough room to get in there without really interrupting the pins. You're touching stuff that you shouldn't be touching when you're trying to sneak around in there. So they were clever enough to realize that if they cut a little bit out of that one side, you can take the same approach, and no matter which way you have it, it's going to end up thinner the way it sits in there. So that will allow you a good another few millimeters, which sounds like not that much to the average person, but to a seasoned picker, you know that a few millimeters inside of a keyway is a football field. I mean, we only need to move these pins in increments that are very, very small. So every little bit counts when it comes to getting your tools in there and having the ability to get around there. Mustang says, I find the short side of that wrench slips off too often. Yeah, Mustang, that's something that for one, you have to kind of just work out with which lock you're working on. It definitely varying results, as do all tools. And some of it comes a little bit with experience. The more you use it, you're genuinely going to have a easier time keeping your top and bottom keyway in there. But I would also say that more of that comes from proper selection than actual getting used to trying to hold it in there. I would advise anyone having trouble with bottom or top of keyway to get yourself more turning tools. This is something that we often ignore, even myself as a picker. We always talk about the pick profiles and, you know, all the differences that lie in those. But really, and you can ask any picker, they will tell you the same if you get this conversation going, your turner tells more about the feedback of what's going on inside that lock than your pick does. So if you learn to use the right one and learn to listen to the feedback, Elroy's, welcome to the chat, sir. If you learn to listen to feedback that you're getting from your turning tool and try not to be too aggressive with it, the Deviant Ollam book had an idea that I really like and try to practice. He discourages using the term wrench or tension tool and instead calling it a turner. And the concept really rang home to me because it's true for me. As a mechanic, calling this a wrench or a tensioner implies a lot more force than is necessary for this tool. At the end of the day, this tool is only designed to open the lock with turning torque, and using the word torque should still be used carefully because feather light is really all that is needed to make the difference in picking a lock properly. When you use no tensioner, obviously you're going to have no torque or tension at all. Therefore, you're just lifting pins and they're falling right back down. So the only way you're going to even jiggle one open with a jiggler style is to have a little bit of twist in your action, I guess. I'm not good at that yet. But even with the ones, for example, A1100, everybody knows that this lock is notorious for needing a lot of torque to open it. But that doesn't mean you need a lot to pick it. See, what happens is if you're thinking too far ahead about turning it to open it, and the spring that is fighting against you for turning the plug, you're going to be adding too much tension to properly feel your way through the picking. So really, if you do it right, you should have just enough to step past having no shelf for the pins to set on. Once you get even one pin to bind, you're already where you need to be. Anything past that is overkill. Now you can use more to try and tell the difference between what pin you are messing with, security pin wise. Extra attention will absolutely help you decipher some of the things going on when you lift. But as anyone will tell you, varying tension through feathering or pulsing is a good idea, especially when raking, which is a totally different ball game altogether. But the idea for your turning tool is more to just give you a very light addition of weight to the turning part of the inner workings. And it really would amaze you how little you need to pick most locks. Naturally, whenever you get it picked to that last one, you will notice on most locks, dead cores and such, because they will do what's called breaking over. Breaking over is when you hit that last pin and you can feel the turner go ahead and jump way ahead. It's not even like a false set. It's basically the lock telling you, hey, all the pins are out of the way, so now you can crank down on me and I'll open up. And the 1100 is like that. I haven't got one of my pack locks open yet, so I don't know for sure that it is the same way, and I can't necessarily ever rule something as an all the time thing. But I do know that the times that I opened 1100s, the turner itself didn't need but very light breathe on it tension for the picking part. And then I could feel it if I was paying attention when it broke over the way. And anytime I was curious about whether or not it actually had broken over, I would use that moment to go ahead and add a decent amount, which would tell me whether it really was ready or not. Because if you give it a good crank periodically, not all the time while you're picking, but if you just give it a periodical crank anytime you're curious, you'll very quickly find that you either do or don't have it open, which is why I often advise people when picking their first 1100, and if they're not used to this sort of thing yet, to give it a shot with the harder tension after setting every pin or so. Because many people, myself included, continue to try picking the lock beyond the point where it's actually picked because of that sprung core. And that's just something that you, yes, I'm going to pick with the Reaper Mustang. Absolutely. I was just having a little talk about turners and I got a little off on it there. It happens. I apologize. But yes, so the reason I was drawn to this set is I do really think the profiles in this thing are amazing. There's nothing that is quite like it, which is why I wanted one. And it has a good variety. And we'll get to that in a moment. But the turning tools in this thing, while being a little bit small, are really ingenious in design. All three of these are etched with the number sizes on them. Here, let me get them where you guys can see them. They all have the etching with the numbers on them to tell you which size one you have in your hand. It's got a beautiful CI symbol on it as well. And they also even have a lot on each one that's machined through it. So that way, which is a genius idea, let me also say, that way when you're trying to quick grab one on the fly, you can see that there is a 1, 2, and 3 hole which will let you know, small to big, which one you're grabbing for. I really like that idea. I haven't seen anybody else use it. And see, I got to give you your props for that. Your turning tools, I've always known were next level sweet. Um, and turning tools, as I've been trying to illustrate for the last 10 minutes of rambling, are what I would call about 75% of the game. Okay? Using and picking the right turning tool for any given lock, 75% of the game of getting it open is going to be which turner you pick. The rest will all lie in using the right pick profile and your skill with the turner and the pick. But picking the right turner and listening to its feedback, I would easily say, is 75% of the battle. Yes, exactly, Skip. Beginners anticipate the open, and that's something I'm still guilty of because I am still a beginner. When you feel a little bit of kick over from a false set, it gets you excited. You're like, oh my goodness, I just made some progress. Usually it's a spool that you've got to lift a little further, and you learn that later. Hello, Lock Guy. I'm glad you made it, sir. Just showing off this fine new Reaper set that I got today from Mr. Nick Matlak. This thing is badass. Um, I've always wanted one. I'm super stoked that he sent me one. I am currently showing off the turners and talking a little bit about turning tools, and I will be proceeding to picking some with these things in just a moment. Okay, so as me and Skip were talking to each other, I really love the one from the FNG, which is why, even though these guys are a little bit smaller, I am never going to fault a company for the size of their tools because as a mechanic, I have learned that there are multiple reasons to have long and short tools of every kind, so I am happy to add them to my set and have them fill yet another hole that I did not have taken care of yet. These are all very well made. This one here, the 50 size, even has some really good teeth cut into it. Let me see if I can get that where you guys can see it. Maybe the Jimmy Long's black will work better. It usually does a good job. Come on, focus, baby. This is why I hate using this camera, guys. I'll get you guys back to the good life with my cameras very soon. Apologize for having to use this ghetto setup. My boy Mr. Happy is actually, I can't tell you just yet, but he has a really good thing coming for me in the channel in the near future. I don't want to spoil it for all of us just yet, but he has a very big surprise that he's going to be sending Mountain Mix way. He just told me about it today. I'm super excited about it, and when I get it in, the production value of Mountain Mix channel will go way up instantly, so I will proceed to showing that and thanking him extensively when it gets here. I just wanted to mention it today because I just found out today and I'm really excited. Okay, so the turners from the Reaper set, I've been showing basically the combination top of keyway, bottom of keyway turners that come in it. I really dig them. I like the way that they still have the little cuts in them that I was talking about in the one from the FNG set. See how it's got the little step down in there on this side? Those things really come in handy for getting yourself a little more in there. Also, I just want to mention really quick something that my boy the Red Bridge Butcher pointed out to me recently. When you're out and about EDCing and whatnot, which is what I plan to use this one for more than some of my babies that stay at home, it's really nice not having Velcro. I will agree completely 100% with him that the use of magnets in your case for while you're out and about is genius. Not only that, you can stick it, against something like a metal doorway, etc., and have your tools actually hang in a way that is very helpful to you, so you don't have to keep them, pulling in and out of your pocket. Also, I have seen people use this thing folded back and sat on the table in a certain way that I have not quite had the time to play around with yet. But much like my loved comp case that I use from Sparrows in the videos a lot, you can set this bad boy up. Let's see if you guys can see that. Let me pan you down for a minute. That's actually sitting on the table. But anyway, it's quite possible to prop this thing up in a way that you can get your pick on with this as kind of a nice desk space for you to pull your stuff out from. Naturally, it also, besides having these two pockets for your picks, has this really cool one in the top where you can stash other things like an RFID card or something like that. I've got a pretty good idea that in the mixing of lovely brands together, my beautiful Mace 1 and 2 set with the Walkade may just slide in there. And if it does, I'll probably be adding it to this case and making a little more room in the back of my phone. So we'll see how that works out, and I'll show you guys how that works. Mustang says that he doesn't think it holds enough picks. Well, Mustang, that has been one of the things I've thought about with this case. This case, as I said, the reason I wanted this was for more of an in-my-pocket EDC type of case. Obviously, you guys know I've got some bigger stuff sitting over here that will hold on to my Jimmy Longs and my Greyhounds and my Sparrows, and they make cases that have a little more room for you if you're a handle snob like Mountain Mick and want to upgrade your handles. What I also often recommend to people is to get either the Jimmy Tool Roll, the Sparrows bigger case that I don't have, the Sherman case. It is a very nice option if you have handled picks and need a little more room. And also the Book of Secrets case that I do not own at the moment, but will probably get one in the future. Hopefully, if I don't, upset the guys at Lockjaw too much, they might still be willing to let me get a hold of some cool things like that. So I won't be going into that, but I think some of you already know about that little fiasco. Mountain Mick will do all he can not to irritate anybody or rock the boat. I'm a friendly guy. I like all these companies, and they were really good about getting my night watch patch over to me. So I'm just going to leave it at that, as I should. So let's see what you guys saying in the chat, and we'll get on to using these beautiful Reapers on some stuff. Yeah, Matlak was telling me that he doesn't know if I know, but it also makes a stand. I was aware of that, Nick. I think you said it before I was showing it off, but I appreciate you reminding me. Also, Nick, before I forget to, I just so happened to be wearing all of this gray stuff today. All of my other cases are black, but I wanted you to know that had I ordered this myself, I had the full intention of getting the gray one. So thanks, buddy. You really made a great choice there, because not only did you get me the set I was aching to get my greasy paws on, you got me the exact color that I was hoping to get. So really, dude, you're a rock star. You'll always have a place at the table with Mountain Mick, sir. Anything I can do to help you, I will be happy to do everything and move mountains to do it for you. Also, while I'm holding this, I'd like to go ahead and show that the very cool Reaper patch is removable, as are all the others that come on these CI cases. I personally will be leaving this beautiful Reaper patch on there for mine. As you all well know, Manuel, Mr. Happy, has designed, with the help of my buddy the Red Ridge Butcher, a actual Mountain Mick patch, and in the very near future, I will be getting a mass-produced in quantity amount of these, and I will do my best to send out some appreciation packages to everybody, especially starting with all of my fine people in the Mountain Mick address book of Lock Sport. I keep track of all you guys who send me these packages, and I don't do it just for giggles. There will come a time when you get a package from Mountain Mick to show you my love to you for all the support you guys have given me. So, thank you for your patience in doing that. It's all I can do at the moment to try and get the Lock Guy and Alroy's Toys, their winter packages, shipped out of here. I have not been able to get by there and do that yet, but I promise you guys, Mountain Mick has your stuff ready to go. I just have to get a little bit more cash up and send it out on you. Um, I've got things in motion and some cash coming in to do it with. I'm just going to need a few more days to get all my Mountain Mick ducks are lining up. Okay, they are getting in a row, and I'm happy to say that very soon I will be able to get you your winning package. This is my line head, of course. Yours is in the box, but rest assured, I will be shipping that out to you soon. I haven't forgot you guys, and while I'm mentioning it, I will also tell you all that before this live stream, I believe we are somewhere between 210 and 220 on the subscribers right now. So we are just around the neighborhood, I believe, of 34 people or something like that before we start our 250 contest. So we're very close to starting the 250 giveaway, and I'm still very excited about that, as I hope some of you are. Let me move a few things around here. I'm going to light myself a smoke, and then I'm going to show you the flat Reaper turners, and I will thank you, Elijah. Elijah's congratulating me on the subs in the chat. Skip, to give a like in the live stream, you can double tap on your screen. That is the easiest way, sir. There's also somewhere a big thumbs up, but it's hard to find sometimes even for myself. So DNP has given me the advice that double tapping your screen in the middle of a live screen is the easy way to throw a like. I see it popped up there. Thank you, Skip. Appreciate your support, Sensei. Love you, Skipper. So, as I was saying about the turners, hey Zero, you guys ever notice how pets can always tell when a lockpicker's having a stream? My dad's dog's over here sitting right beside me. He wants to hang out with all you guys too. Zero's a great dog. I think he made a quick appearance in my last one. So I found, as I finally got my Harbor Freight Vice, which I highly recommend for anybody struggling with money for lock sport, the Harbor Freight Vice will run you around $20 even without discounts. And I would absolutely advise you to grab one of the vacuum-based central machinery vices. That is what my camera is currently sitting in. It has some nice rubber stuff on it, and it locks and repositions in a bunch of different ways. So it is a very handy vice to have. And even though I did have dreams of Chuck Vices and Panavice 350s, I have to be completely honest with you guys. The two of them would have cost me an additional 35-ish for the Chuck, and then about 120-ish for the Pana. So, about $155, $160 for the other two Vices. And I couldn't help but think to myself, that's almost the entire Moki's Explorer set that I'm itching to get. So I got to tell you, after using this thing for about a week and a half now, I don't even think about those other two Vices anymore. I think about how many other tools I'm going to be able to buy with the money I saved getting this wonderful Harbor Freight Vice, which I still enjoy very much. Zoe the cat has entered the chat. Welcome, Zoe. I'm glad you were able to join us today. I'm just showing off my new Covert Instruments Reaper set that Mr. Nick Matlak had sent over to me. I've still got to get the picks freed up out of here. And I'm just currently showing off the turners that came from the set. I'm super stoked. I was waiting all day to open this package because I wanted to keep it a surprise for myself and all of you. And that's the least I can do for a friend. So, I'm really anxious to get started using these things. I'm just rambling a little bit about all the cool stuff Covert put in these bad boys. So, um, the reason I brought my Vice up is because I always struggled in the very beginning with Top of Keyway, as I'm sure many people do, and as I've read in Reddit, it's a pretty common thing among noobs. And being still only 2 months in, I very much consider myself a noob in lock sport. As a mechanic, I've been a professional getting paid to work on cars for just over 20 years. That is where I'm a professional. As a lock picker, lock sporter, I am still very, very, very green and very much trying to increase my skills and be worthy of all the attention and love my friends give me. And I appreciate the lock sport community because I did not expect that part to even be part of this. And man, just meeting and talking to you guys and having some real intelligent and fun friends in my life, I didn't realize how much I was missing that in my adult life. Mountain Mick is going to be 39 in November, and other than his lady, he did not have really any social life until meeting all of you fine people. So, thank you, all of you, for getting to know Mountain Mick and being a part of my life because talking to all of you, whether it's about picking or anything else, has really become foundational to my day-to-day life. And I just wanted to mention that the community is amazing, and I love you all very much. So, also while I'm thinking about that, in the spirit of that, my good brother Broke Picks has brought to my attention that our friend Conky, many of you may know Conky, he is one of a longtime picker buds in these chats and group hangouts and whatnot. I was looking forward to meeting him when I got back to Florida. Unfortunately, our dear friend Conky is having some serious health issues right now, and Broke Picks is organizing something where we're gonna try and get some letters and some love and support down to Conky, and Mountain Mick will be praying for him and hoping that he is able to return to better health as soon as possible. Just wanted to make sure while I'm talking about love and lock sport and friendship that I take the time to send a shout out and some love his way. If any of you guys know Conky, he's a very friendly guy, and he had been in my chats before, even when I first started this, and I met him hanging out in Lady Lock's lives and stuff like that. He's a really friendly, great guy, and just send my best wishes and love to him. If you would like to help out with sending some love Conky's way, maybe get in touch with Broke Picks, and he is more directly able to communicate with him. So maybe reach out to Brother Broke, and he will direct you into how best to show a little love to Conky while he's dealing with whatever he's dealing with. Because community and friendship is very much what Lock Sport is about. Okay, so what I was trying to say is when I started vice picking very much revolutionized top of keyway picking for me. Um, I struggled doing it in hand, mostly because I only had some flats like these that I will show you to work with. This is a Sparrow's knurled flat, and as I've begun to use a vice, it is a more useful tool to me now. using these. But I would be not altogether honest if I told you that I love those or that I love the Sparrows Turner 1 set, which I have two of because I bought one and another came with my Mace sets. The Mace 1 comes with a Turner 1 set. The Mace 2 comes with its own top of keyway, bottom of keyway designed Turner, and it is far superior to any of the ones I just mentioned. So I had been using a combination of my Covert Instrument one and the one from my Mace kit most of anything up until very recently. George Jim was kind enough to send me this curved set of Sparrows, which you have all probably seen me use before recently, as they have recently become my favorites. However, I will very soon be using these beauties the most I possibly can, because as you can see, and as I've always been able to tell, Covert Instrument did a really, really fine job making these things very grabby and putting the teeth on them. And hello, GQ Man, thank you for joining us. I'm just showing off my new Reaper set. Nick Matlak sent this over to me this morning. I got it from the FedEx man. I put it off opening it all day so I could be a child on Christmas with all of you here and get the actual surprise factor. I'm just now wrapping up talking about the different things in it and getting ready to do a little picking. So, much like the other Turners I showed in this video, Covert gave all three sizes, which again is what you're going to want in a good Turner set. If you get a Turner set and it doesn't come with three sizes in it, you need a different Turner set or to upgrade it with some others, because the 32, 40, and 50 in this case are going to serve you very well on a very broad spectrum of keyways. And as I was saying, and you can probably see here against this nice Jimmy black pack, these things, like most Covert stuff, have some very superior quality metal etching and design that went into them. They are a little artsy, but I will say that from what I can tell, the artsiness of these, if anything, does not detract from their use, but may even add to it. All these little sharp picks, points, not picks, but all these sharp little points and jagged areas make for a really, really good grabbiness when it's in the top of a keyway. That's going to give you a lot less slippage, a lot less flinging of tools, and hopefully it will give you enough good feedback for you to finish opening the lock you're working on without losing your mind chasing your turning tool all day. So just like the other set that came with the Reaper, these not only have the size numbers etched on them, but they have cut the holes as well for rapid identification. This one has one, this one has two, and this one has three. Again, I believe that is genius. Covert Instrument, very well done. It's very obvious to me that you guys in your research and development cut no corners. You put a lot of thought into it, and when it comes to lock-picking lawyer, that doesn't surprise me at all. He is, as you can tell from his method of picking, he is a very thorough man, and that's something that I very much respect. And if you're going to be a successful lock picker, attention to small detail is a very important part of the game. So, tip on my hat to him for that. Let me get this smoke out of here so we can get down to the pick business, guys. Now, the magnets in these things are really strong. And for that reason, you can pick all your tools up if you drop them. It's always handy to have an extra magnet around whenever you're playing with small parts. And the fact that you can use this thing to slap it on the fridge or a metal doorway whenever you're working in certain areas, I think is pretty genius. Not to mention, it will not wear out the way Velcro does, nor will it make that sound that you get when you rip open some Velcro. I really feel that the snap, like Sparrows put on the case for the Turners here, is a good answer to Velcro. But I would also say that magnets like CI used on this are a very good option. So let me get these profile out of here, and we will get them going. Watch My Mustang says, I wonder how those will compare to the Sparrow's curved tension wrenches. Well, Mr. Mustang, that is exactly what I intend to find out, as this has very quickly become my favorite set of turners, and not because it's Sparrows, because it really works well. I really dig the deep notches that they cut in them on their design. Those notches really sink up in there and do a great job grabbing. And unlike all the rest of the Sparrows turners, which I'm admittedly not much of a fan of, I am a fan of these. They've got the etching. It says Sparrows on them. It's got all the sizes etched on them. These come in a 0.8 millimeter, a 1.2, and a 1.0. You get 3 of the wave curve in it, and then you get 3 of the flat ones. So I carry that one with my Escort every day, and I use it for most of my vice picking, unless for some reason I switch to my Covert Instruments double-sided bar, which I'm very fond of, especially for in-hand picking. I think Lock and Covert have long been at the top of the turning game, and I don't see that changing anytime soon. However, I would say in my experience thus far, not to discount this little set from Sparrows, the case is good, and they are handy. For size comparisons for you really quick, Mustang guy, this is the Sparrows flat from my curved set, and this is one of the Reapers that I just got. Let me hold them at the top the same so you can kind of see the difference in size here. Clearly, the Reapers are shorter, and as I said earlier in the video, that is a good thing for me, because while I do enjoy having a long tool in a lot of cases, in the real world scenarios, you're not always going to have room for one of those. So it's very good to have multiple sizes so you can be the most effective picker possible. So, instead of being tribal and always being divisive and feeling like you got to be a Ford man or a Chevy man or a Dodge man and being that way about your picks, maybe, be a little more enlightened like myself and many of the other pickers of the world, and don't limit your options by feeling that way. Sparrows make a ton of decent tools. They also make some that have tons of room for improvement, admittedly. And all companies are like that in my experience. When you make a ton of products, you're going to have room for improvement here and there. There's going to be things that get done a certain way for whatever reason they get done that way, and it might be something that you later can afford to improve upon. I mean, Jimmy Longs, he admitted on his own site that his very first drop of Jimmy tools were pretty much just trashed by everybody when he got them out into our hands. Not me, I wasn't there yet. I'm too new for that. But as you guys all will know if you were, By the time he got around to making version 3, he had made a very significant handful of changes based upon the suggestions of the community, which is why his version 3, 4, and 5 are all excellent tools, some of the best made in the entire world, in my personal opinion. I only have the version 5s because I'm so new. But I will tell you, for my money, a Jimmy Long's V5 full tang um, finite element analysis pick is, just, it's exquisite. So, you should always give a company a chance to improve if they let you down on something, but you shouldn't pull punches. Make sure you voice those concerns to them. If they care, they will make the adjustment. If they don't, then they will eventually fail because they don't adapt. The world is made to where those who want to survive adapt, and companies and business is no different. If you want to remain a successful company, the only way, in my opinion, to do so is to listen to your base of customers. Lock sporters and locksmiths would be that base in this particular coincidental uh, example. And for that reason, many of the ones who have their ear to the ground out here in the Reddit and Discord, etc., communities like Jimmy Long's are really good at making the adjustment and bringing us things that we desire and sending things to us for feedback and keeping an open mind and not being over prideful in trying to come up with literally the best thing they can. So again, I'll have to tip my hat to Jimmy Longs for being that type of guy. And I don't think that any of the other companies I've mentioned in this video any different to an extent. I think all of them desire to sell all of us as many tools as they can, and I think that they have uh, the smarter ones have got an ear or two around so that they can get that feedback and so they can make an adjustment to bring us better stuff. And I hope that it stays that way. Okay, I finally got this thing open. We've been hanging out for about an hour now. Thanks, guys, for being here. I'm not wrapping it up. I just wanted to let you guys know that if you were waiting for some picking, the picking is about to begin. So, as per usual, I will not be attempting anything super high security or crazy with these just yet. I will be off camera when we finish here. And I don't want. The reason I do that, guys, is because you know that I don't mind failing on camera. Mountain Mick makes no bones about the fact that he fails hard all the time. But some people get the wrong impression when they see any one certain tool do well versus another one taking a little longer. And they don't always keep in mind that I literally just opened this set, have never touched it before, etc. So to give it a fair chance for those people seeing me and what I'm using, I, feel it only right to start with something that I know I have very little trouble getting into and that we're all very familiar seeing what Mountain Mick can do with. So for that reason, we're going to start out with the good old Master Lock number 5, the classic yellow. Because of how the last video went and some suggestions I was getting in the last one, I will be swinging around the table here a little bit so that I can give you guys the classic over-the-shoulder picking experience while I'm doing this, instead of just giving you the sitting here in front of you experience. We'll give it a go from the classic stance. So let me take my regular FNG turner out of the equation here, because the idea here is for me to use the Reaper. So I'm getting my Reaper all lined up on the table in front of me. with all of its beautiful options. And we will pick something not the McTickler. I don't have any issues with the McTickler. I'm actually quite fond of it, and I will get around to using it some more later. But as all of you are aware of, Mountain Mick has already been playing with a McTickler. So I would prefer at the moment for us to go ahead and focus more on the 1, 3, 4, and 5 profiles, which are going to be these guys right here. And it looks like my picks, unlike some of you, are not all super magnetized to each other too bad, which makes me very happy. Now, if they were, it wouldn't bother me that much. Being a mechanic, I know how to get the magnetism back out of them. It's not really that bad. Let's see what's going on in the chat real quick. Terraphon says, I think you're going to love the Reaper set. Those things tear through locks. Terraphon, I think you're right, sir. I've long been looking forward to trying these out. Every one of my picker friends who has this set says, oh, Mick, you got to get the Reaper. You got to try the Reaper. Get you a Reaper. You're going to love the Reaper. Well, guys, I've always agreed with you, and thank to Nick Matlak. I finally get to see what you guys are out here on about. So, let's get into that. It looks like number 1 is a low reach style without the McTickler bump on it. I'm interested to see how that works in some tougher locks. But what I'm going to be starting with is the number 3. Because, hello Greyhound, glad to see you made it, sir. In this video, I'm showing off a package of Lockmail I got today. It is the only one. I've been rambling about it most of the time so far, and we are just getting into the picking part of the portion, sir, so you're right on time. It is the Reaper set from Covert Instrument. Good friend Nick Matlak sent this over to me as a complete surprise. I've been carrying it around in the FedEx package all day, dying to paw it open, but controlling myself because I wanted to share it with all you guys. And anytime I get a surprise package, I feel it's only right to share the surprise and the reaction video with the sender in a genuine type of way. So that is what we have been doing here. Also, naturally, I mentioned earlier in the video a few times those fabulous new doggy legs that I got from you and Delbert, sir. I love them. I'm really enjoying them with the handles I put on them. You did tell me about the 44 Delta handles and how they fit them as well. I might even give that a try sometime soon, because since Mr. Matlak sent me this beautiful Reaper set, I think all of you know that I've always said I wanted one, and that I will be eventually adding the slim cloaks to this bad boy set to give it the optimum experience for Mick when in the lab, keeping in mind that I'm really looking forward to having this thing because I wanted to make it part of my EDC kit, and because it has this awesome little magnetic case, I think maybe my maces will fit up in here with the Waltcade 3D print. And I've been really itching to do this. Nick Matlak, not sure why you say that. Feel free to let me know in the chat, because I'm always curious to hear what you think. And you were the first person to tell me that. But I think I remember from our conversation on Reddit last night what you're after here. And feel free to voice that in the chat, sir. Mr. Greyhound has also told me that certain 3D options are existing in the world right now that may fulfill my desire to put some 3D stuff on my wide flat Sparrows handles that I was talking about in many of my recent videos. So, Mr. Greyhound, I really appreciate you working on that with me, sir. And when we come to a, place where we can know we have a winner with the 3Ds, yes, exactly. Mr. Greyhound is working on it. So don't get all too excited yet. It is in the developmental phase, people. But as I have been desiring to find a way to get sparrows to give me these, but with a nice big cushy hollow style handle or something more akin to a slim cloak, or at least even you know one like this. For example, this came from zero day gear. It was a freebie that they tossed in with the tweezers that were sent over to me. That was also Mr. Happy, I believe. You guys spoil me so much. I'm getting to the point where I have a hard time keeping track of who spoiled me with what. But yeah, that was him. Alright, Mick is going to sling around here to give you the classic Mountain Mick pick experience. Never mind Papa Mick in the back a little bit there. He's just enjoying himself watching a little TV. And I got to crank you guys down just a little more so you can see what we're doing here. Good. I will still be able to see the chat. So if you have anything to say, thing like that, I will still be able to follow along with you guys, even though we're still running our slightly ghetto setup, which is not my usual setup. But as I mentioned earlier, my good friend, Mr. Happy, has he's got a really big surprise for our channel coming up. I'm not going to spoil it for all of you, but he told me earlier today about it. And just know that I'm extremely stoked. He is going to bless the channel with an upgrade in equipment. And I can't tell you all about it yet, but very soon we will be going up in quality instantly. So, big thank you to him. I will show that off when it makes its way to me. Now, my good buddy and mentor, Mr. Skip Hambrook, is very fond of this number 3 profile here. So that is what I will be starting off this Reaper adventure with. Let's choose a turning tool. I think we'll just go with let's see, the 32 is going to be a little small. Maybe the 40. I think that's the one that's the size the other one I use is. So, yeah, we'll use the 40. Also, I just noticed that even though this little dip that they put in let me get the thing again. Even though they put this little dip in this one, most likely for picking, it makes a good spot for my index finger. They put it there. So when I've got it actually in the bottom of keyway, that little notch makes a great spot for my finger to set. So again, very well thought out turners from the people at CI. Can tell how much love and effort they put into their designs, and that's something that Mountain Mick is a fan of and very much respects. I'm sorry that my camera's a little higher than I will try to hold it up and get a better shot at it here, but we're going to be using the Reaper number 3 and one of the Reaper turning tools to try and get the old number 5 open. I showed this same lock and oops, that one's going to be a little skinny. Of course it is, because that's how it was on the other one. I don't know what I was thinking. We're going to have to do it this way. So, I reopened this lock last with one of those beautiful new Greyhound dog legs. Now we're going to give the Reaper number 3 its chance in the spotlight. So, Reaper number 3, don't fail me now. You are the one in the hot seat. Let's see, I'm missing somebody. Who is it? Who's playing rough in here? There we go. Excellent. I noticed, guys, that one of the reasons it feels a little different to me, but that is a good thing, is the Reaper for most pickers. Mountain Mick usually uses a 25 for this lock because I'm a firm believer, as Bosnian Bill was, of using the largest possible profile width-wise. That way you can cut down on too much side-to-side movement and slipping off of pins while you're in there. You really just need to focus on the up and down, back and forth, and having the bigger, thicker one will give you a much better feedback as well. So, using the biggest thing possible is always a good way to go for you. Now, we're going to try the 3-up next, which is one that I've slayed multiple times in videos. It is keyed with an M1 Master Lock key, which makes it pretty much the equivalent of a Master Lock number 3. Mr. Inferno is in the chat. Thanks for joining us, Mr. Inferno. Mr. Matlak, you have a good night, sir. Thank you for joining us. And again, Mr. Matlak, you have spoiled me, sir. Thank you immensely for sending over the Reaper for me to enjoy and to share with the rest of everybody. You're really a champion in my heart and a hero of mine, sir. Thank you for helping me to develop my love for covert instrument a little further. If that was your wish, you are succeeding, sir. I'm going to continue to pick a little bit more with these things before we get out of here, guys. Thanks to everybody for hanging around. And Greyhound says that he got his free Peterson pick today. Awesome sauce, Mr. Greyhound. I still have mine hanging out here. I will say that while watching my good buddy Dean P on his, he did break his. So I can't really say in any way how that happened. He did get a lot of good use out of it while it was in one piece. He was actually pretty fond of it. I don't know what would lead to that failure. He is a admittedly heavier handed picker than some. However, I will say that I know him to be an owner of many Sparrows tools as well as his own Greyhound tools and a handful of others. And I would say he also uses a pretty decent amount of CI. And not trying to throw any shade towards Peterson whatsoever, but I can tell he was a little upset when it gave out on him, and I can totally understand that. So I hope that nobody else has that experience. I was not aware of that, Mr. Inferno. Perhaps that is why he had issues with it. I didn't know whether or not they tempered the steel on these things. I don't know much about the production of these. I do know I've enjoyed mine very much so far, and because it is a free pick, I am hoping that everyone who desires to try one out will get a hold of one that way. So at the very least, if they find themselves in Dean's position, they will not have to eat it on the money. Greyhound says it's government is like government cheese. Reason why we try to stay away from communism in America may have a little something to do with what you're talking about there, sir. That's all I'm going to say, because I know that I've heard some horror stories about what happens when you cross certain people in the industry, and Mountain Mick doesn't even want to get down that road. So let's just say for now, Mountain Mick likes his Peterson pick, and that's all he's going to say about it for now. But let's get back to using the Reaper that Nick Matlak sent me, because it's fantastic, and I'm really enjoying it. Mr. Inferno has let it be known that if anyone decides to start drop forging picks. He will invest in that company. Mr. Inferno, I'm a poor man, so I'm not very much in a position to invest. But were somebody in the Forged in Fire or Forged by Fire or whatever that really cool sword making show is, if anybody who was in the blacksmithing community were to get into pick making and doing it the way you're talking about, Mountain Mick would also fully support that idea, and I'd be more than happy to show off those picks. Now we're going to try this 3 up, and we're going to go at it with, we'll start out with the 3 again. Um, as I said, I believe that this is a pretty solid favorite from the kit of most. I imagine, but I'll have to check, that it's pretty close to the FNG hook as far as the profile itself goes. It appears to be a medium hook of some sort, which is probably what makes it so versatile. It may even be a low, technically. Where did I put that thing? Oh, there it is. So, yep. There you go, guys. That's pretty much speaks for itself. I've got the original hook that came with my FNG and the number 3 that came with the Reaper, and I'm having a little trouble getting it in camera and stacked up, but there we go. As you can see, one will hide behind the other because they are nearly identical, so no wonder. And that means that I kind of already have a good idea what to expect out of this bad boy, because as I mentioned earlier in the video, this little guy in the 25 from the FNG set has very much done its fair share of popping locks at Mountain Mick Lock Lab. Believe me when I say the FNG will make you all the way up to green picking with just that one if you have the skills. And also, if I can get it out of here, my new handles have made it a little harder to get out of my case, but they are worth it entirely. My quint rake, it is also fantastic. I had a little snafu with it one time. That was my fault. I tried to stick it into a plastic case that was not made for this size of pick. And I won't lie to you guys, I actually used a pair of pliers to try and pull it out of there. If you look really, really closely, I had to bend it back down here at the base. It's really hard for you to tell. And it still has been used many, 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 many times since I had that little snafu. So let me say that when it comes to the strength of this metal, it is very, very, very strong. And I was able to bend it back the same way with my pliers. I was fuming and cussing for a little bit, but after I got it back where it belonged, I really feel like, other than a little itty bitty scuff I put on it with the plier teeth, it still has its original shape for the most part, and it is still a very useful tool in my kit. I just wanted to tell that story just to further confirm to you guys that the CI metal is absolutely very strong metal. Um, I don't know how hard it would be to break, but I know that I can promise you it would take a fair amount of trying really hard to get that thing to actually snap. So if you're breaking a CI pick from picking, I don't know what you're doing with that thing, but you're probably doing it wrong, or you got a really strange batch, fluke batch. Guest, thank you for joining us today. I'm glad you were able to get in here during one of my lives. Welcome. I'm just showing off the new McNally CI Covert Instrument Reaper set that my good friend Nick Matlak had sent over to me by surprise. Mate and Locks, also hello. I'm glad to see that you made it. Um, I'm also glad to see that you were able to catch the stream. I try to stream at a time of day that my buddies in the UK and that area can see me a little late night but still see me, and so that my East Coast friends, like here where I live, are still in the dinner time portion, and so that my West Coast brethren are still really just getting out of work and home right about now. So Mountain Mick very much tries to think about the overall community when he makes one of these broadcasts, and we will definitely have the upload for everybody to re. Come on, baby, don't do that. Oh, we're almost losing it here, guys. I think it's because my phone went over to do the shot. I'm gonna have to stand us back up and hope for the best. I don't want to lose you guys here, so we're gonna have to go back to this view, and I'll continue to pick in hand from here, or maybe I can turn around and get back in the right spot. But I seem to be having a little bit of connection issues when I lower the camera down this way toward the table to give you that shot. So sorry again. As I said, Mr. Happy has a very big fix on the way for the quality of video we're making at Mountain Mick. So just be patient and bear with Mountain Mick, and I promise you guys I will have much better production value very soon, thanks to Mr. Happy. Okay, so I've already used the number 3. The McTickler I will not be using in this video because Mr. Matlak sent me a pack of McTicklers recently that were all McTicklers, and I've been playing with them a lot since, so we're going to try and focus on the stuff I haven't been playing with. Mr. Inferno, I was trying to say, he says in the chat that he doesn't know where we're getting our covert instrument picks from, but that his don't last a week. Well, all I can say to that is Mr. Inferno is a very trusted friend. He is also a locksmith by trade, so he definitely knows what he's talking about. And he had some awesome videos, as well as I believe he still holds the speed pick record. Correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Inferno. I believe he still holds the speed pick record for a 98 Pro. So if you have not seen that video or do not know him, I would highly recommend that you check out Mr. Inferno's channel. He's a good friend of mine. I love his content, and I spend a lot of my own time watching it. He has confirmed in the chat that he has the 6 second. Yes, you heard me correctly. 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's about how long it took Mr. Inferno to open one of these bad boys. And you'll never believe what he did it with. Ooh, not that one. Mr. Inferno is a crafty fellow. So this is one of Papa Mick's Cutco steak knives, okay? I would never do that to one of Papa Mick's because he would likely use one of the other ones to skin me with. But Mr. Inferno took one of these type, not this brand or anything, I have no idea what he used, but it was a steak knife. And he turned that steak knife into a useful pick. I would also love for Mr. Inferno to tell everybody in the chat what the thickness was on that bad boy, because that will also help you to understand why some of these covert instrument 20s and 25s are not up to his standard. Let me put this back and we'll continue. Alrighty. I will be using the number 3 to pick this Master 3 up, and hopefully Mr. Inferno will have a chance to tell you guys the thickness on that steak knife pick. There we go. Thank you, Mr. Inferno. For anybody watching in the future who doesn't see the chat, sorry about the sync. For anybody watching in the future who doesn't see the chat, Mr. Inferno tells me that the steak knife pick in question is a .030. So that is a 30. Okay? That's going to be thicker than even the Sparrows or the covert instrument FNG picks that I had out here a moment ago are 25. Anyway, the point is the steak knife is a 30, which is about an extra .005 of an inch than any of the largest picks I own. So he is a bit of a bully when it comes to lock picking, but as a locksmith, getting the lock open is the desired end result for him, and how quickly he does so affects his pay. So naturally, he's going to use whatever he can to slay that thing. And if you get over to Mr. Inferno's channel and check out some of his content, you'll see what I'm talking about with the steak knife, the speed pick, and his unorthodox style. He's a very cool guy. Thanks for hanging with us, Mr. Inferno. Always love seeing you come by, my brother. Alright, so we're going to use that same turning tool, and we're going to use the number 3 again. There we go. Beautifully done for the number 3 Reaper. I'm going to use the same lock again, only we're going to change profiles. So I have booted the McTickler out because it has already been used a lot for me. And now we have used the number 3 on 2 different locks. And I have confirmed that it is basically a 20 and matches the Echelon or FNG pick in that hook size. It is the exact same profile as the FNG hook. It just has the Reaper handle, and it is in a 20 instead of 25, which means it is a fantastic pick, and I will be getting a lot of use out of it. I'm going to start adding these babies back into the case where they belong, because I unwrapped them as I was getting this video together, and I want them to go in their beautiful case here to show off at the end of the video, because while they do get shipped in the case, they get shipped in all of those plastic covers and whatnot, and that's nice. I'm going to use this cool magnetic thing to hang mine off of the table here, which is very cool for me, because now, if I can pan over and show you, Mick can have his Reaper just chilling right here and do a quick pull. Very cool stuff. So again, well thought out design by Covert Instruments. Drogast says you must run for work calls. Never a problem, Drogast. The full upload of this video will be done whenever we finish, and it gets processed from my phone to the interwebs. So just check it out later if you get a chance, and you can see whatever you missed, brother. I appreciate you dropping by and enjoying hanging out with us for a little bit. But you got to make those dollars, and Mountain Mick fully understands that. Mr. Inferno says, I'm sorry, Terraphon says that his Covert Instruments have lasted months. And I'm caught back up in the chat. Good deal. So now I will be proceeding to, I didn't use the number 1. So we'll go ahead and give the number 1 profile its day in the sun really quick. It looks to be a super low reach, sneaky one. That's something that Mountain Mick likes a lot. The only thing about one of these is you're going to have to get that angle just right, or you're going to bump into the other picks as you're attacking them. However, especially when you're in the front, just sneaking around, these can be very useful. It basically looks like a McTickler, only it doesn't have the bigger bump right here. The McTickler, let me show you guys, for those who aren't familiar. A McTickler has this little bump ridge on it here. And the number one is basically the same thing, but without the bump. See? Alright. Now, let's get back to using these beauties. I just want to say again, while I'm doing this, that Mr. Nick Matlak, you have spoiled me, sir. I am tickled beyond ways that I can describe to be using this new Reaper set from Covert Instrument. And for anybody who ever thought that Mountain Mick was a Covert Instruments hater or anything like that, this video should just further prove to you guys that I love good tools. I love my Sparrows, but I also love my Jimmy Longs. I also love that Peterson pick that I've got. And I've always loved my Covert Instruments, okay? Covert Instruments are a great company, and their ambassadors in Locksport have all been very welcoming and friendly to me and helpful to me, even while knowing I was affiliated with Sparrows. So they are all fine people, and I have assured all of them that I will never do any gotcha style stuff with them. I have no intentions of trying to make any of them look bad, because I couldn't if I tried. They can all outpick Mountain Mick anyway. And I just want to be sure that everybody knows that I very much discourage the divisiveness and the tribalism and cult-likeness of following either one of these, any of these companies in that type of way. Yin Yet, thank you for joining us. I'm glad to see you got here. I am just showing off this awesome Covert Instruments Reaper set that my good buddy Nick Matlak was kind enough to send over to me. So I am in the middle of picking some of my comfort locks with the Reaper, and just talking a little bit in the process. I will probably wrap this video somewhere soon around the 2-hour mark, because I really was aiming for an hour, and as usual, I've rambled off in a few different directions, trying to always share knowledge of lock sport to the best of my ability. I've smoked, chilled, and hung out with you guys as if we were friends, because we are. And for anybody who is more into the watching Mick shut his mouth and pick, that is what my short series and my other videos are for. My lives are a chance for me to hang out and enjoy myself with my lock sport friends and here in the chat, because I can't always be in everybody else's. I really enjoy hosting my own and getting to talk to all of you while on camera without having to type 1,000,001 things to communicate with you all. I've actually become very much lazy in the recent times. I often use my microphone talk to text these days, or record actual voice messages, because I used to be somebody who only talked to his wife on the phone, and of the last month or so I have so much new friends and activity that the only way I can keep these big thumbs from getting totally worn out because of the phone is to use my already tired, raspy sounding voice a little more. So that's okay. I always say they're the right kind of problems, so I'm happy to have them. Feeling very blessed, too blessed to be stressed. Yin Yet, thank you. I am considering the 44 Delta handles, especially for my Reaper set. I think the slim cloaks look good. My buddy Mustang in the chat, he's not very fond of them. He got a set and did not like him that much. Of course, Skip, you knew I'd still be running. You can't get this guy to shut up. But yeah, I'll still be on for about another 15 or 20 minutes is the plan, Skipper. We're actually doing some picking now, though, so I hope you approve. I know it doesn't look like it right this second, but that's because Yin Yet just snuck in here and I'm having a quick smoke. But Yin Yet was telling me that he liked the way my Greyhound dog legs look with the new handles on them. And I have to agree, obviously, or I would have just stripped them back off myself. These are a fantastic profile, the dog legs. They filled a spot in my kit that I didn't know I needed to fill, but that they have nestled right on in with the rest of the family. And the elephant trunks I will be getting at some point, they have a straight instead of a low curve like this, but still have the notch in the tops. And then I will also be getting the, I'll get one of the beginner kits so I can get the heavy dog legs 3-pack as well as the chaos rake and that really cool leather pouch and whatever turners come with it. Because I think that that's a great way to get yourself, your Greyhound started. And then I will be asking for the mediums and the new deeps. I'm a true believer of the Greyhound way now, and the Southern Specialties putting these together did a fantastic job. I put these on the way that I did because I could not bring myself to cover these beautiful etchings of the Greyhound dog head or the fantastic idea they used of, I don't know if you noticed, but they have the sizes on both sides. And not only that, one type of size is on one and one type on the other. What I mean by that is, in these two in particular, one says 0.6 millimeter on this side and then 0.025 inches on this side. Pay attention to that, other pick makers. That is pure genius. That is something that lock sporters like. As a former and still ongoing mechanic, I must tell you that when I have the tools already marked, it is a very desirable trait in a tool for me. Did I glue them? Mr. Inferno asks. No, Mr. Inferno. Uh, in one of the earliest packages I received from my good friend Mr. Happy, who I mentioned very frequently in this video, I can't help but mention him. He spoils me and he is a great friend. But Manuel, Mr. Happy, sent me some of the excess tubing that he had. I think, maybe actually no. I could be wrong about that one. Because it may have come from my friend Jeremy Hendricks, who sent me the 44 Delta followers. So don't let me misspeak on that one. Jeremy might have sent me this tubing. In any case, Mountain Mick has great friends that bless him with things from time to time. And that's how I got a hold of this tubing. I don't have a big roll of it, but one of my friends sent me about 6 pieces this long from their big stash of it that they had acquired. And it is the marine grade, Mr. Inferno. So the marine grade is already got glue in it to help it seal better, unlike the shrink type that I would use on automotive wiring repair. The marine grade stuff has this really, really effective super glue in it. You can kind of see a little bit of the excess glue just ahead of where the black ends on my pick here, if you look carefully. See that little extra white? That is the glue. And I trimmed the backs off after folding them over and reheating them one more time to try and seal the back as best as I could. And I think that it turned out pretty good. So Now they have a very good rounded back like they naturally do. And again, I could have covered it all the way up to about here because some people like to use it that way, understandably, so it can't sneak its way off of there as easily. But because of the multiple handle options that exist, the fact that this was my first try at it, and the fact I would never cover up this beautiful etch work that somebody put their time and effort into putting on there, I decided to cut it off in a spot just below. And I think I did a really good job getting them all about the same, making them all very clean cut and operable. I used my Benchmade knockoff knife to do the excess trimming, the one that I showed earlier in the video, just because somebody asked me about it. Dean DNP got me on this one, and I really love it. What? Hair dryer. You didn't mention the hair dryer. Oh, and of course the hair dryer. Papa Mick was just reminding me that I did use the hair dryer when using these. Papa Mick has always had a hair dryer. He's from the era where a man still uses a hair dryer and hairspray to have fabulous hair. And because of that, I've always had one in my house. I did have someone suggest that I use a lighter to do this with. Now, obviously, Mountain Mick has a lighter around pretty much all the time. However, I'd like to note that the reason I did the way that I did it, there's a few reasons. One of them is because I am indoors and was not in a garage when I was doing this. I was in the bathroom. I made a video of it to try and help DIY for anybody. But the reason I didn't use a lighter is because when you do DIY videos for people, sometimes the people are younger people or older people, but not so smart people. They're going to do it exactly the way you show them, but they may not take into account some things you forgot to mention, like safety. Therefore, I thought it best for covering the posterior of Mountain Mick that I use not an open flame, because in my experience with cooking and we'll just not get into all the other things Mountain Mick is capable of doing, but let's just say, for the sake of safety, that teaching other people to use heat is one thing, but teaching them to use fire is another. And I would feel absolutely terrible if some person's apartment building or house or animals, children, people were harmed in any possible way from one of my do-it-yourself videos, making them use a lighter to potentially set off a chain reaction that's unpredictable. So, for that reason, after much careful deliberation with myself about whether or not to use a lighter, I decided that I could get a more even heating experience with Papa Mick's blow dryer. And we use heat guns in all the tire shops I've ever worked in to heat up the glue on the back of the sticky weights that you put on wheels so you can balance wheels. So, yes, that's correct, Mr. Inferno. I can cook and I can clean. I was actually considering being a chef before I went to the mechanic field, and I still very much cook very often. I also will clean from time to time. I was not raised to live in filth. Although we are poor, we don't like to present ourselves as such. That being said, sorry, ladies, Mountain Mick is not on the market. He's been off the market for about 6 years. And the only thing he'll be doing with these hands, outside of making money, picking locks, and working on cars, is loving his woman, the one. So, for that reason, thank you, Mr. Inferno, for pointing that out. But Mountain Mick is very happy with his life the way it is. And if that changes, he will let you know. But don't hold your breath. Go find somebody else, because Mountain Mick is in this one until till death. So also protect yourself from angering Miss Mountain Mick. Miss Mountain Mick is a very avid lover of horror movies, slasher films. She also enjoys watching MMA with Mountain Mick. And I'd be putting it very mildly when I say she can take care of herself. She worked next to Mountain Mick every day in South Florida in the heat, working 10-hour days of construction. And I've watched her work circles around grown men of all ages and types. So do not underestimate Mountain Mick's companion. She is a hardcore mofo. Otherwise, she wouldn't be able to put up with me or keep me in line the way she does. So, we will move back to the picking session of this video. Mountain Mick is a often maker of chicken Alfredo, chicken Parmesan, a good pork chop that I make with my very own sauce blend made from scratch. Mountain Mick is from North Carolina, so barbecue is a very big thing to him. I also love a good rib, pork rib, or a brisket. I love all forms of barbecue, and I'm also pretty good at cooking a steak medium rare. Any form of potato, as my heritage would suggest, is a win for me, even if it's just a cheesy tot. I love making cheesy tots, guys. Alright, so we're going to try this number one Reaper on the 3-up. I don't expect this to take long, as you shouldn't either. Bees, Mr. Inferno? What kind of bees? Bees with itches or bees that make honey? Mountain Mick's very fond of honey. Let me tell you, I love a good honey. Sourwood honey is a very big commodity in the area Mountain Mick is from. People sell it by the quart jar. My goodness. This 3-up doesn't like it. There we go. What is going on here? She's turned, but she didn't shackle pop. There we go. Yeah. The sneaky profile is good for lots of things. But if you have a very jagged difference in the way the binders work, you're not going to have a good time with this. That's why it's more often Mick will use something with a little bit more lift already naturally in it, so as to help avoid some of those other pins being touched. Did you ever get a chance to eat at B's Barbecue in Greenville? I have not, Mr. Inferno. I haven't spent much time in Greenville. When I was in college in Mooresville, North Carolina, I had a buddy that was from Lexington, North Carolina. Lexington is pretty much known as the capital of barbecue in North Carolina. If you go to downtown Lexington, they have actual statues of pigs on every corner. They are dressed up and painted differently, much like the way they have Elvis Presley statues on the corner of every corner in downtown Nashville. But in Lexington, it's all little piggies. So my buddy, who was from Lexington, he would be kind enough. Every 3 weeks, one of our classes would end. We would take tests, we would pass, and we would all go home for the weekend. We only got to go home for the weekend between phases. A class in my tech school was known as a phase. Every 3 weeks, you would complete a phase. And the entire program I was there for was about an 11 and a half month time. If I had taken all of the NASCAR courses offered, it would have been closer to 2 years. And if I had taken all of the Ford Fact program classes, it would have been around 2 years. And if I had had the money to take all the NASCAR and Ford classes on top of my curriculum, it would have been around 2.5 years, I believe. They also had lots of dealership apprenticeship programs, Porsche, Jaguar, um, Mercedes, just to name a few. They all had individual programs picking some of the best graded students and giving them a financial aid apprenticeship to come to their factory specific training after graduation and get a sweet, cushy job working for one of those companies. Now, Mountain Mick did not go to one of these because you're only eligible if you finish at least going to all of either the NASCAR or Ford classes. And Mountain Mick got $30,000 worth of debt from just the base courses. So it was all his family could scrape together and still is paying for Mountain Mick to go to Mooresville and do just the basic classes. And this was in 2006. So I imagine it's more expensive now. Now, Mountain Mick is going to continue. Uh, let's see. I have put away the number 2 and the number 3. And now the number 1 will be going back to its home. Alrighty. So that's going to leave us the 4 and the 5. I'm going to show them both really quick, and then we're going to pop a couple of locks, and then we're going to put the wrap up on this baby for this current live. Mountain Mick still has to eat some dinner, and then he's going to do quite a bit of playing around with his new Reaper set off camera, and he's going to work very much into the night again tonight, doing everything he can to not socialize too much and get either this or this to open on up, because Mountain Mick has spent way too much time at Greenbelt while building his channel. It is his own fault for being overly social and trying to talk to all of his friends so much, and it's really time for him to buckle down and get that 200K and that blue belt. So that's really my major focus lately, guys. As of last night, I've really decided to put my ass back in gear on getting towards my blue belt. Starlight Cafe is good. I have had that before. The best barbecue I've ever had. All right, Mr. Inferno. Good night, brother. Let little man do his thing. Little Richards is my favorite, sir. Little Richards of Lexington is all over the place. They are a chain. That is my personal favorite. My friend from college that I brought up would bring me a different care package of another place from Lexington every time we came back. So I was able to try Speedy's, which is a really good one, Lexington Barbecue, which is a really good one. And if you ever find yourself in Mooresville, NASCAR, Race City, USA area, very near to the school is a little place all the NASCAR drivers still meet very regularly, and it's a good place to run into them. It is a off the beaten path beer joint with some of the best barbecue and hush puppies, as well as nachos and fries that have barbecue on top of them. Mwah! Fantastic food. Lancasters is the name of it. Lancasters. 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 If you're ever in the area, get some Lancasters. If you love barbecue, you will love it. And if you love NASCAR, like I said, they've got more swag and memorabilia and autographs on the wall in there than any other place I've seen except the Hall of Fame building. And very often you will run into Brad Keselowski, Dale Jr. All the drivers have teams and homes within the Concord and Mooresville area. So if you go to Lancasters, Do not be surprised if you run into some actual NASCAR drivers hanging out. They might even buy you a beer and a little bit of pork. Let's see what the chat's saying here. Yes, Skip, the orange one that you sent me is definitely going to be easier than trying to get this one open. I've looked at the bidding on both and absolutely have been using the orange one for most of my attempts thus far since I got it from you, sir. I will be trying to get that one on camera very soon so I can level up. Figured it's the stream's probably going, and you were right, sir. Yes. We are in the final portion of the video, which is me picking and enjoying my stuff. But naturally, I've rambled left, right, up, down, and every other direction. And rightfully so. Most of it has been knowledge or anecdotes that are related. And anytime I find a moment to share a little bit of what I might find useful for someone to have told me about, I try to share what I know about that without going on too quickly, because that's what a lot of the younger and newer viewers are here for. They want to hear, some actual picking knowledge dropped. So that is why I will bore some of you at times by telling you simple things about turning tools, etc. Because there are people like myself who haven't been doing this very long, and they very much need a little bit of a hand in getting going. So I strive to make this entertaining and educational for everyone. So let's see what else we got here. Exactly, and yet I usually go twice as long as what I say. That's a good rule of thumb. I wanted to do about an hour to an hour and a half on this one, and we are just over the 2 hour mark. So that's usually a good rule of thumb. I will usually end up uh, running twice as long. And I even jumped into this one pretty fast this time, I feel like. I scheduled it ahead of time. My sound crashed in the initial stream. And the record right now, Mr. Happy, I believe the last live stream was right around the 4 hour mark somewhere. I do not wish to repeat that on purpose, but you guys were having a great time and keeping engaged with me, and I just managed to keep it going, and that will happen from time to time. As long as everybody's having a good time, not bored, and we're still doing some picking, I see no reason to make it a quick affair. Often I will end up with a few subscribers from the longer ones like that too, which gets us closer to the 250. I think I had 6 subscribers during that 4 hour one added to our sub count. So it's definitely very useful for all of us in that way, because the faster we get those remaining, I believe it was around 30, 36-ish last time I looked. At any rate, we are under 40. In less than 40 subs, we will be kicking off the 250 sub. So, yeah, very soon we'll be doing our next contest. And I am working very diligently to get out my last ones. I remind you of Boone from Justified. Well, Stu, I hope that's a good thing, because I've never seen Justified. But thanks for letting me know. I've also heard Daryl Dixon before, and very much in my youth was told Heath Ledger by a handful of people for a long time. So I was a big fan of Heath before his untimely demise. He was a great Joker. I won't say he's the best. Caesar from the original is absolutely the best Joker ever. You're not going to change my mind there. Ain't that right, Papa Mick? Oh, Papa Mick's run off on me, but Anybody who knows the old super classic Batman will know that the original Joker is pretty hard to beat. I'm also a big fan of Nicholson and a big fan of Heath, and I really also enjoyed the Joaquin Phoenix Joker movie. I have not seen the newer one though. I heard it was a musical mostly, and I'm kind of on the fence about that. Ain't that right, Papa Mick?
What's that?
Who's the best Joker ever?
The original.
That's right. Told you guys. You can't do better than Caesar. I am using the number 4 Reaper on the 3-up right now, guys. Boone was a great character and you dug that show. Well, thank you, Stu. I figured it was a compliment of some sort. I just wanted to be honest with you and let you know that I have not personally seen that show. Is that the one? No, I'm thinking of a different one. Never mind. It is a law enforcement show you're talking about, right? There we go. Yeah, this is the 3-up, Skip. It's basically like a master number 3. The only difference is that these are rekeyable the first time. So when you buy one, it's actually a blank lock. And you would take your master lock number 1 key, stick it in the keyway. Here, I'll show you one that I'm going to be sending over to the lock guy. I've got it in his box, but it is within reach of me right now. But what you do is it's at the bottom. I didn't want to mess his stuff up too much here. But, oh, let's not drop his package. But, yeah, this is a 3-up with the key still jammed in it. It works. But it's still got it stuck in there right now because whoever went to key it didn't finish the job quite properly. I imagine that the lock guy will have a fun time getting that straightened out. But what you initially do with one of these is you get it in a pack, and it has oh, okay, yeah, Timothy Oliphant. I'm a big fan of his as well. Yeah, Mr. Happy, I thought I told you. The Reaper set came in from Nick Matlak today. So he has spoiled me further, and I've been showing it and using all the different parts of it, and I'm very tickled with it. I always knew I was going to love the Reaper, and I'm glad to have one now thanks to my good friend Nick. So you'll be able to see it all very soon when I upload the rest as soon as we end. Dean P has entered the chat. What's up, Dean? But yeah, just to quickly tell you what I was telling you guys, the 3-up is, it comes basically with 4 pins that are somewhat serrated like a paper towel. And the gist of it is you take an M1 key that's already been cut. It's kind of like the opposite of getting a key cut for a lock. In this case, you're pinning the lock on the fly for a key you already have, so you can match it up with any of your other Master Lock M1s. So this is a 2402 coded M1 key that somebody got stuck in there and hasn't finished the job most likely. But what you would do, were it brand new, is take your key, your already cut M1 from another lock. I've got a big old set of them over here I could just be showing you, I suppose. But you take a regular M1 key like this, and you take a Master Lock 3-up like this, and you stick it in there, right? But what you do is Master Lock sells a tool to do it with. It kind of looks like a plug follower a little bit, but it's just basically like a slapping it with a hammer tool that goes in between and helps you from beating up the back of the key too much. That's all it's really for. But anyway, much in a similar fashion as you would do to bump key a lock open, you put your M1 key in there with the tool on the back, and then you give it a good couple of smacks with a hammer, and then if it gets done right, it'll open the lock, and then you can pull the key out. Now this one's jammed in there because they didn't finish shearing it all the way somewhere in there, I'm assuming. So because I was already going to be sending a 3-up, this one, over to the lock guy with his line head, which I've got all wrapped up and bundled up so it won't get any damage in transit. He's also getting the Lady Locks unopened sticker package. As I told you guys, Mountain Mick gets some donations from other people sometimes, so he can further bless you guys. And when he does not cannibalize your stuff. I would never pick through somebody's stuff that was donated for the contests. That stuff is for you guys, okay? So while I do get doubles sometimes for my own use, I would never double down by cannibalizing you guys' stuff that's been sent to me. Let's see what you guys are saying here. 3 times this week. It's an all-time record. You mean my lives? Are you talking about my lives, Dean? Oh, you're talking. I'm sorry. I'm just now strolling around back far enough. Okay, so Stu's talking about Timothy Oliphant. Yeah, I'm a big fan of him. I'll have to check out that show. That 1 and 4 from the Reaper were your faves, weirdly, says Stu. Yeah, I like the 4 a lot. It looks to be somewhere between a medium and a deeper style hook. But what I do like about it is that, like most of the Reapers, and like my new Greyhound Doglegs, it's got a little bit of a cutaway right before it. So that way you can kind of sneak up under the pin that may be below or behind it. And the number 1 I was just using a second ago. Number 1, as I was telling you guys, is a really sneaky low pick, so that you can get in there and not touch anything until you're getting where you want to lift up. So that can be very useful in some situations too. So let's see. Let's keep it moving along. Otherwise, we will end up in 3-4 hour territory, and we're not trying to do that this time. Let's see. Skip says, only a 4-pinner. I expect better than that from you. You're a green belt. Skip, look, man. When you start doing 2.5 hour lives, you can talk that smack, old man. But as long as you're still picking starter beginner videos and showing off FNG kits and giving me a hard time from Florida before I can get down there and give you a proper ass whooping, I love you, buddy. I'm not trying to hear that stuff, dude. I'm trying to entertain people. I'm not, a green belt picker who can fly through an American lock in 20 seconds like some people. Skip. When I get there, I'll clear out all of these easier comfort locks, and I'll start doing that just for you, buddy. But, to be completely honest with you, I've already got a couple videos of me on here taking 30 or 40 minutes to not open a pack lock. So anybody who'd love to see me on the struggle bus can go watch that one. And yeah, exactly, Stu. What the hell, man? I don't come over to your channel and talk mad shit when you're picking something or not picking something. What up with that, dude? He does give me a hard time, guys. It's all love. Not a problem. Your friends are allowed to give you a hard time. Sometimes it keeps you in focus better. And Skip knows that an Irishman like myself does love a little bit of heckling amongst friends. So when I say those things back to Skip and then give him the wink and tell him I love him, just know that we're just having fun, guys. That's the way we like to talk to each other, and there's no real animosity there. Let's see what you guys got going in the chat, and then I'll pop a couple more really quick. But if you had been here for the whole video, Skip, if you had been here for the whole video, you would have heard me say that when people watch me show something like this straight out of the package that I've never touched with my hands before at all, ever, if I take 30 minutes to pick something and I don't get it open or I struggle a little bit, all of a sudden they think, oh, the Reaper's a horrible set. Mountain Mick took 30 minutes to open a Master Lock 3 with it on live the other night. And then I'll make one of your favorite companies look terrible because I do it like that. So, I mentioned earlier in the video, which you can watch later in its entirety, that I usually break out some comfort locks for opening whenever it's a new toy, which is why you also saw me doing very similar with my Greyhound dog legs. It's not that I can't open harder locks with these things, it's just that I'm trying to give these makers all a fair shake with people who don't really think about all these things. And if they see me using some new set and they see me opening the same lock in 5 seconds with my Sparrows picks, then you'd be all over me like, why do you make your Sparrows picks look so good and then make my picks look like they're crappy by picking them for 30 minutes and not getting it open? Well, I learned when I got my first set of Jimmy Longs, which are exquisite tools, that when you switch from a pick that you're very used to using to a pick that is new to you, there is a certain learning curve that comes with that. And as I am a man who has been picking for less than 90 days, it's a big difference for me when I go from one pick to another. So, in the interest of giving those tools a not bad look to people who don't understand all of this that I just said, I will usually get out my comfort locks and make sure that I can get opens with these tools so I don't make the tools look like they're bad. You know, it's not about making me look better or worse. I'll sit here and struggle with you on a direct live for 2 hours and you can coach me through getting this damn pack lock open. Anytime, Skipper. You know I love you, dude. So let's see. When you gonna finally open the pack lock? I'm gonna be stoked. Yes, Dean. I did spend about an hour and a half last night working on this thing. I'm still not quite there. 7 pins is a nightmare for me still, honestly. But it also is one of those things where I only pick that lock on camera. So it limits my time by doing it that way. I've spent over half of the last 4 days riding in the back of Papa Mick's car while he delivers. And I do a little picking on the road to keep myself in the game, but I can't record that one and stuff, so it's just, there's a lot of complication that goes into it, guys. Anyway, you're not a jerk, Skip. You mean well. You're my kind of asshole, so never change. Delbert's here. Or was Delbert leaving? I know he was here before. I'm thinking about getting the $40 98 Pro from 44 Delta. Well, Delbert, while I would say do it, I gotta tell you really quick, my friend, it's one of the prize selections you can make if you win Mountain Mick's next giveaway. So I just gotta throw that out there for you before you go spend that money, Delbert. The giveaway is like 30 subs-ish away from starting, and there's 4 different locks you can pick. Maybe 5 if you count the other keyways that come on some of them. Definitely the Avis comes with 2 different keyways. But anyway, the reason I was really bringing it up is because, as I said, not only can you get an American engraved with whatever you want on it in an 1100, the other option that I've put out there for my winner of this next contest is going to be either of your choice of a 44 Delta. I don't have either one of them, guys, but maybe I'll get lucky and be able to buy myself one as I did with the lion head for the first. I like to commemorate my contests with the prize as something I would want. And in this case, before I start getting into super expensive prizes, I might be able to replicate that one as well. But I'm going to be offering the winner of mine 250 their choice of either an engraved A1100, whatever color they want, whatever engraving they want, or they can choose between either the 1100 or the pack lock sold over there at 44 Delta. So, I think that those three prizes are a good selection to choose from. You can only have one of them, of course, but I will be getting one of those choices for whoever wins in exactly their choice. So just keep that in mind, Delbert. You may be able to win one of them. Dean said the skills are in the operator, not the tools. That's exactly right, Dean. A bad tool can hold you back, but a good tool is not going to make you a better picker. That's all I'll say about that. C. Stu Doo says, a poor craftsman blames his tools. A good one buys the expensive shit when he can. Exactly, Stu. I'm of a mind that I want to have overkill when it comes to my tools. That way, it never creeps into my mind, is it the tools? It can't be the tools if I've got all these fantastic quality tools. It's just Mick needing to get better, to practice harder, to grind. And that's what it is right now. And that's what I have no problem, putting the time and effort into. Let's see what else you guys are talking about. Skip says it's the picker, not the picks. Again, I agree. Dean says, I sure made Peterson look like they have weak tools from breaking mine on the live. Even snapped at the base so I can't use it for cuffs. Yeah, well, if it snapped at the base, you might be able to use it in some kind of finger pick, Dean. Maybe you can reattach it to a different handle or something. I don't know. But it's no biggie, brother. I mentioned it earlier in the live, but it happens, bro. And like they sent these out because of some defective issues, so maybe that was related to it. Also, Mr. Inferno mentioned earlier something I had no idea about. He says that the Peterson picks are not tempered. So the steel has not been tempered in a Peterson pick. I don't know if that led to your metallic failure, but it could be a lot of things, Dean. We won't put it on you on this one, brother. You've got a lot of other brands that still hang in there, so it's very likely that you could lighten up a little bit, but it's also very likely that your other tools are hanging in there. Maybe the tool was the problem. Definitely practice more on the 98 Pro. The Lottos take a certain finesse that I haven't fully gotten down myself. Yeah, Dean, I know exactly what you're talking about. I was trying to pick the Lotto one more so lately because of the difference in bidding. But I have to say in agreement with you that I'm sorry, that's the wrong one. I have to say that in agreement with you, I have a little bit more trouble getting the tension right when it comes to a Lotto lock. I don't know if other people struggle with that, but I kind of wish that the core from the Lotto was in this one. And before you all jump on the wagon and say, do it, Mick, yeah, I know I could bust it out of there and install it most likely, but I don't want to do all that. At the end of the day, that's just swapping and squirming and making excuses. I got to get better at picking it, guys, and I know that. Let's see, still got a male Stu, the Sergeant in Greenleaf. Oh, cool. Yeah, that Sergeant Greenleaf looked really nice, Dean. I'm glad you and Stu got that thing worked out. Um, think you found the tool thong that uses a smart key lock. Cool. Delbert's going to keep in mind that we are giving away the lock. Cool. Skip, the challenge I have mentioned in many other videos, but because you asked, I will go ahead and tell you again really quick. Let me grab the other lock really quick. Alrighty. So, the 250 that is coming up, as soon as we hit 250, I will give the word go. When I give the word go, you may send in the same way we always do, just hashtag me or at me so I know you put it out into the world. I will add it to the playlist, and that way by the end, everybody can tell who's involved and everybody can double check that they're on the playlist. It's a very good way of confirming what I have and don't have. But here's how it's going to work, Skip. So I'm only going to run through this really quick and only once because I have covered it in other videos. But I like to cover it anytime it comes up really quickly because new people may not know, and we're just on the verge of being able to start this contest. So you are going to pick one of the 4 locks I'm about to show, or you can use them all, or whatever you choose. Any combination will work. Once it starts, you can send as many videos as you like. You can use the same one in multiple videos or any mixture that you like. So from the time it starts to the time it ends, you can make as many videos as you like because it is not timed this time. Each of your videos will give you 1 entry. So there will not be a limit on entries. You may make as few or as many as you like, but there will be 1 grand prize winner chosen from the entries. So the more videos you make, the more chances you will have. But I didn't want to make it to where anybody couldn't get in for any reason. So I've given ample time for people to obtain the locks necessary. If they don't have one, maybe I can work something with somebody to get one in your hand. But most pickers are going to have at least one of these locks. So the options are as follows. You may use an A1100. You may use an S1100. You may use a Master 410 Lotto. I want to say really quick because my good friend Mr. Happy asked me, and it's important that I cover this. Only the Master Lock 410, okay? I realize that the 410 Pro exists from Packlock. That's not gonna be part of this, guys. So please stick to the Master Lock 410 if you're gonna use the 410 Lotto. The only other Lotto I want to see is the Abus 7440. You may use any Abus 7440. It doesn't matter if it's the Yale keyway like mine or if it's the other one. So that should give you at least 4 to 5 options to work with, guys. You got your A1100 American, your S1100 American, your Master 410, and your Abus 7440 Lotto. It's important that I include this lock in particular because some of our friends across the world have a harder time, for some crazy reason, getting a hold of Americans and Masters. I think most of them have them anyway, but I always try to think of ways to keep the entire global community able to participate at Mountain Mick because I will never, ever be an America-only channel. I refuse. I will send your winnings to the moon, infinity, and beyond. So, the Abus 7440, any keyway, doesn't matter. The Master 410 Lotto. Now, you know how these work, so I'm not going to talk about them more, but let's talk about these two just for a second longer. Because the American 1100 and the S1100 are guttable, please be a gentleman or a lady and open this thing on up after you pick it on video and show us the security pins. I don't care if you do a full gut down on it, but I'm gonna at least need you to show us the key pins and yeah. Let's just make it simple and keep it to a full gut, okay? So that way there will be no confusion and nobody will say, oh, but we didn't check this, and oh, but what. Let's just keep it to a full gut. So if you use the guttable, please gut it for the video. I'd hate to have to disqualify a winner because they didn't prove they weren't cheating. And as came up in my last video, I don't think it's going to be an issue. But if I find out that you tried to get into one of these, reseal it, or do anything sneaky like that, you're going to have to repick it for everybody if you win. And then you're going to have to bust it open with a hammer and show off the goods. So you're going to lose a lock and a lot of respect if you try some shit like that. So let's just keep it clean and fun the way it should be. That is how it's going to work. It's not really what this video was meant to be about, but might as well cover it really quick since it came up and because we're so close to the 250. Let me check up on what you guys are chatting about and I will finish my Reaper picking here. Pick snapped was brittle steel. Really appreciated using the Peterson pick at least for a trial run. Delbert says he's going to play with a lotto next. Dean says gotten the Master Lotto as well as the 90 Pro Open, both top and bottom keyway. That's good, Dean. Mixing it up with top and bottom keyway is a good way to keep yourself versatile. Mr. Happy says the 410 Pro is the world's easiest, or is world's easier. I'm sorry. He says it's worlds easier than his 98 Pro. Well, the 98 Pro isn't part of the picking part of this contest. That's why neither the 98 Pro nor the PL 410 Pro will be accepted. I will be giving one of them away as a 44 Delta Pack Lock prize if somebody chooses, but we will not be using pack locks at all in this contest. Skip says he personally likes the dead core locks. Dean says that he's the opposite. His 98 Pro is way easier than his Lotto. He has a lot of pack locks with dead cores. Elroy's Toys says the Lotto core is in the American S1100. Yes, you are correct about that, Elroy's. That is one of the reasons that I included the 410 and the S1100, because my understanding is that they are essentially the same type of thing. I did have it in my mind to include the Packlock 100A, which is the 6-pin variant of the 98 Pro. If you guys in the chat think that that's a cool idea, let me know so I can maybe tweak it and add it to the options. If you would rather see it stay the way it is, let me know. And if you would rather I did also add the Packlock 100A as an option, let me know what you guys think about that. And Mountain Mick will consider making a Packlock also part of the lineup, because I do love Packlock, and I don't think it's fair to include the 98 Pro because it is a 7-pin. But I recently got a 100A from my friend Seahorn, and I was studying up on it. It turns out that that is the 6-pin variant of the Packlock 98 Pro. So it is a lot closer. It's a green belt. I'm pretty sure all the other ones in my contest are green belt. And for that reason, I'm considering allowing the Packlock 100A in as an option as well. So tell me what you guys think about that, and if you would be digging having that one as an option as well, because I don't want to make it such a Master Lock heavy type of contest. My first one already kind of was, And it was only by coincidence that I added the Americans and a master lock. And the ABUS gives two options, which balances it a little bit, but I'm considering adding the pack lock because it would be just one more good option, and it's in the same wheelhouse of Greenbelt, and I think they even use it in a lotto form variation, so I've considered putting that one in that. Yeah, that is the lighting, Dean. It skips around a little bit. Sometimes it does make me look a little orange. And honestly, part of it is also that you're seeing my Florida workers tan. It is a little more tan on my face than it is in these areas. So it's not just the lighting. Mountain Mick is actually a little more tan on his face and a few other parts that inevitably get burned in the sun of South Florida. Let's see here. Kevin Gilman says, I'm ready. S1100 is also dead like the ML410. Exactly the same. I don't mind the dead cores. It's just my Master 410. I messed the springs up. I already have stressed, Dean, they better not send early entries, because if they do, it's not going to count. You need to hold those in your vault. I don't mind you recording them ahead of time, but do not send it to me. I don't want it now. And if you make me aware of its existence, I will have no choice but to wish that you did not do that. So, if you're already recording or already had one recorded, that's not a problem. But please, so everybody knows that it's fair and doesn't stone us, please wait until I open the contest, and then you can send as many as you want until the cutoff. What will ultimately matter is the admission date. If it is outside of the beginning or the end, when you submit it in YouTube format, it will not be counting. And Mr. Happy brought up another good point the other day. What if you already have a video of yourself opening an A1100 or one of the other options? You better make another one. That's the answer to that question. Okay? This is for fun, but it's also a contest, guys. Don't be a lazy lock picker. Don't send me the one that you used to qualify for your green belt and keep trying to ride it out on your own same laurels. Get in there, do it again, and give one of your buddies a shout out. You know, spreading the love of lock sport is also what these contests are about. You're not required to give a shout out, because that would be kind of silly. But I do highly encourage you to give as many shout outs in your video as you like, so that you can spread your friends around and get the love of lock sport further into the world. That's what we're attempting to do here, right? Moving along here, I'm almost caught up here. Oh, that's right, you want to see the pins. Exactly, Dean. I want to see the pins. So if you didn't do it that way in your video, you're already not going to win. So it's not going to be of much use to you to send me that video. Let's see. Chuck Soup. I didn't see you sneak in here on me, Chuck. Hello. I'm glad you made it. Chuck Soup will forever be Mountain Mix subscriber number 1. He was here before I had any videos. He was here before anybody knew me. So I will forever remember that Chuck Soup started the whole subscriber list. Thank you, Chuck Soup. Why not the 90A, Skip? Well, Skip, I've also considered that. So before this stream ends, let me know what you guys think about the 90A and about the 100A, and maybe when I actually start the contest, I'll have added them to the list. Because as I mentioned earlier in this video, listening to your audience is a very important thing to do. And if you guys think we should have some pack locks in the contest, we'll have some pack locks in the contest. So let's see. Mr. Happy says he would love an excuse to buy a 98. Well, Mr. Happy, you go on ahead and keep pushing the idea of a 98 entering this contest, and my friend, I will enable you to have a good reason. Chuck Soup says I've been seeing the Master 410 raked open on YouTube. I just cannot get it done yet. Well, Chuck, I know how you feel. I saw you rake open one of these with a Sparrow City rake, and I'll be damned if I've been able to do it yet. So way to go, fella. If any of you guys are interested in seeing Chuck absolutely slay a 98 Pro with a Sparrow City rake, it is on his channel, and you can also find it in my Videos from Friends playlist. I was highly impressed, and I begged him to let me add it. And just to quickly run through my usual spiel about that, I don't get credit for any of those videos, guys. That's not what it's about. It's about spreading lock sport love and showing off the talents of Mountain Mix Friends. Also, it is a good place when I get some noobs over to my channel to let them explore and see more of you guys so they can find your channel. So that way, when they ask me who else they should watch, it's really easy for Mountain Mick to say, come to my channel, look at some of my videos, but please be sure to check out my Videos from Friends playlist. You will find some far better pickers than myself in there, and you should check out their channels as well. And I always tell them that whenever you are ready, I will be more than happy to add one of your own videos to Mountain Mix Videos from Friends playlist. And that is business that I stand on. So if you want to be on the playlist, just tell Mountain Mix. I'll put you in there. Skip says that rakeability is determined by the key bidding. Completely agree, Sensei Skip. Well, Mr. Happy says, oh my God, 90. I think you lost me on that one a little bit, Mr. Happy. You might have to let me know what's going on with all these numbers here. I think maybe it's just a typo thing that keeps happening for you there. Yeah, I think I see what happened. You got every number in the book trying to type that one out. It happens to me all the time. You've seen our conversations. Well, my lotto is done by Reliability. Will it work for the contest? Well, Mr. Delbert, as mine is a skill craft, I have mentioned before and will reiterate that I am not concerned with who made the lock, as long as it fits the standards of being what it's supposed to be. See, this one still says 7440 on the bottom. Well, it's hard to get it to focus, but believe me, guys, it still says 7440 right there. And if you look closely, it also still says ABUS right here. So the key is also an ABUS key. But yes, Delbert, as long as your Reliability is one of the qualifying locks for the contest, that's totally cool, my brother. I don't care who made the case, as really the core that is important to us in the picker world. Let's see, orange could be the lighting. Yeah, it's also got to do with a couple things like this sitting around close by. And probably just the way that all this gray changes things. My eyes are much the same. They are very green in a lot of shades, and when I wear a red shirt, they get super green. But when I wear certain other colors, they will get a little browner. So I'm really hazel. But anyway, I know some people who would say anything can be raked open. Yeah, watch my Mustang. I've seen some real skilled rakers out there. An open is an open, and I like being able to include everybody's skill sets in my contest if possible. You missed it. Is a speed contest or a random winner? All right, Elroy's, I'm glad you asked. No, this time it will not be a speed contest. I was talking with Mr. Blue Scooby Wagon about the contest, as he is one of my right-hand most trusted advisors as well. He pointed out to me that in the interest of younger and newer pickers, it would be cool if we had a contest that was a random drawing so that it wasn't just a race. So we will continue to do both on Mountain Mix channel. There will be races and there will be randoms. And this one in particular will be random, sir. So the way it works, when the contest starts, and only when the contest starts, you will send videos. You may make as many as you like. You may use whatever tool you like. You may use as much time as you like. I will give you one entry for every one lock that you open. It can be the same lock in multiple videos. I don't see a reason why I would care if you open the same in the same video 3 times. I suppose I will give you 3 entries for doing that as well. In the interest of editing and submitting, it'd be probably cooler if you split it up, but just to clarify all of that beforehand, you'll get an entry every time you open one of these locks by the rules during the contest. And those entries will all be fed into the big prize randomizer wheel that Scooby has shown me. You've probably seen it before recently on Greyhound, or who else did I see use it recently? Um, anyway, not the point. The point is that the big spinner prize wheel, Rock Out with Your Lockout uses the same wheel. So when I do announce the winner, we will not do one of those super long videos where I eliminate everybody that the wheel picks, because I imagine that there will be so many of you in the contest by then. I'm hoping that I would never make you suffer through that many wheel spins. So, for that reason, when I do cut off the contest, we will schedule a time to have the random wheel spin for everybody to be able to tune in, and I will click it 1 time. Okay? So when the random big wheel has everybody's entries fed into it, we will find out who our winner is through spinning it. What about the fastest gets X number of entries? Second is a few less, blah, 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 blah. Well, Watch My Mustang, while I enjoy the ideas that you're putting out there on doing things a little different way, let me assure you that this has all been carefully thought through. And as long as Mountain Mick is having to supply the prizes out of his own pocket, there will only be a certain amount of winners determined by Mountain Mick. Uh, I will not be trying to punish anyone or promote anyone by making my rules any certain way. But as far as having prizes for multiple contestants or awarding different things in the same contest, it is something that has crossed my mind. It is something I will do in future contests. But for the moment, I am still a very poor, unemployed man trying to make this channel exciting and interesting for all of us. And it will just have to be, at least for this one, a single prize, grand prize winner. Thank you for your ideas, sir. I appreciate them. I always consider all the ideas you guys send me, and keep them coming. I have no problem trying to incorporate your in. Dean says it sounds to him like it would be unnecessarily complicated. It just depends. New picker, who else should I watch? Mountain Mick. I got a playlist for that. Exactly, Chuck Soup. That's what we're going for with videos from friends. Your friends get all the credit, all the likes, all the watching hours. None of that goes to Mountain Mick's channel, and I don't want it to. You get the credit you deserve. All I want is to allow my platform to be used by my friends as well. And that is the spirit of Lock Sport and the reason I created it in the first place. Also, because of the free and fairness of internet public videos, I technically could share anybody's video there that I wanted, but because Mountain Mick is a gentleman, unlike some people, Mountain Mick will always ask you personally for your permission before doing so. Not because it's legally an issue, but because for Mountain Mick, it's morally an issue. I will not share your work with other people without your express permission. So if I ask you, it's not to offend you by asking. It is just so that you know Mountain Mick really cares about keeping best practices. Okay, let's see here. 98 is worth 2 tickets. Yeah, I've thought about that stuff too, Delbert. I will have some contest stuff later where we have difficulty range. Okay, that's a good idea. I like, and I'll work that into one of our next ones, guys. Let's see what the reliability lotto at Lowe's has an Avis score. I don't know, Mr. Happy, but maybe somebody can tell you in the chat about that reliability lotto. Um, entry, da da da. I want to do a contest and probably. Okay, I'm finally caught up with you guys. I'm going to do a couple more picks. We're approaching the 3 hour mark, and I'm going to shut this thing down. Okay? Yep, the like button is quick, easy, and free. Now, let's do a couple of more opens here and shut this thing down so Mountain Mick can eat some dinner and whatnot. We're going to give the Brinks Brass a try. I'm going to try using Reaper number. We'll give the 4 a shot this time. So let me get my bottom of keyway set up here on the Brinks. I really love the way that they sit in here. I really like these new turning tools. And we're going to go for the number 4 here. The number 4 has got a decent little hook to it. And you guys can just keep hanging and chatting. Everybody in the chat, I have not seen yet any of you guys answering my question about the pack locks being in the contest. So please take a moment, if you would, while I'm picking through this to respond and give me an idea what you guys are thinking about using the 100A or other suggestions of similar difficulty pack locks that you think maybe would be a good way to go on in the contest with the other locks that are already in there. I want to offer as many possibilities on those as I can because again, people in different areas of the world have different access to different locks, and Mountain Mick always aims for inclusion when it comes to the contest. So, you guys tell me what you think about adding those locks, or whether we should maybe just leave it the way it is. I really love pack locks, so I don't have a problem adding one in, but we will not be adding the 90A Pro because it's a little bit higher on the list, and I'm trying to save that one for a different one, if I'm honest, guys. You'll get your chance at your 90A Pro. You just gotta stick with me. I have a non-guttable dead core pack lock. Mm-hmm. Come on, little Brinks. See, this is what happens right here, Skip. You asked earlier why I don't put really hard locks on when I've got brand new picks. This is why, sir, because sometimes it's all I can do to get a couple of these cheaper, easier ones open with some new picks. I struggle hard when I switch picks, brother. That's the truth. I think when you start doing some live videos yourself, now that you've got the ability, you'll begin to see the difference between what you can do pre-recorded and what you can do when you've got a handful of your buddies all watching you at the same time. I imagine it's a bit like making love to a woman in public. Oh my goodness. We'll come back to that one. I'm sitting here making this thing look like it's not working good. And I know it's just that Brinks being an asshole, so we're going to go back to the other two that I used the other Reapers on. Because if I don't, I might turn this video into a super long one. I don't want to do that. I'm getting hungry, and that's part of it too. Always pick when you're not on an empty stomach and not already having the other stressors on you, because it does all add up and wear on you guys. So you may want to take a good shot at certain locks after having a good meal and things like that. I'm not really being able to focus the proper way right now because all I can think about is some pizza for dinner. And Skip, you can't talk and pick at the same time. Well, you're going to have to learn for live, brother. Otherwise, everybody's going to wonder what happened to you when you get that pick in a lock and they haven't heard you say anything for 45 minutes. Then again, you're such a quick picker, you may be able to just get around that by getting the open and then saying something, Skip. Everybody's got different ways of going about it. I'd love to use my vise right now, but unfortunately, it's my camera holder right now, too, so I can't do that. I'm not having good luck with this thing, and I think it's because it's such a deep one, and because it's a 20. It's really not what I would reach for these locks. Stupid bugs. There we go. Sorry about that, guys. Yes, Dean. Don't start a live when you've got bubble guts. It will make you stop the live early. You do your videos in one take, Skip? Well, that's cool, my man. Like I said, I can't wait till you get on in here into live world and see the difference it makes. Because you can feel everybody breathing down your neck, so to speak. Especially when you got a couple of your friends heckling you in the chat. At any rate, I'm going to give us a quick run again here with the number 5, which is the only one of these I haven't used yet. I thought it only fair to give each one of the readers its fair day and a quick shot of it. Let's take this opportunity again to thank Mr. Nick Matlak for blessing me with this fabulous Reaper set from Covert Instrument. I really, really like this thing already, guys. No surprise to me, and probably no surprise to you guys either. This is some top shelf quality picks, and I'm really happy to be the new owner of a Reaper set. My friends, you all spoil me, and that's one of the reasons I will do everything and anything I can for all of you. I have not had this level of kindness, friendship, etc. in my life, maybe ever. Definitely not in any of my hobbies. And basically church is the only time I can remember, or maybe a couple of homeless shelters. They're about the only time I can remember so many people being so kind and giving. Let me see what you guys are saying, and I'll get this thing open. Yeah, Pinchy Heckler's way. Yes, DNP. Maricones. Chuck Soup says, I have me a new pick bucket. Anytime I get a new pick, I break out those locks to run through the pick through the. Exactly, Chuck Soup. That's what I'm doing here, sir. These are just a couple of regular, usual suspect, totally right out the beginner set comfort locks. And for that reason, when I get a new pick, I don't want to try it on something hard that I already struggle with. I want to see how it works on something a little more familiar, and that gives me a better idea of what to expect when I go into a hard battle. So, thanks for pointing that out, Chuck. Does the patch come off the set? Well, Dean, if you had been here for the whole thing, you would have seen me do it already. But yes, sir, it does come off. It will be staying on mine, but just for the fun of this video, I would never be so rude as to put my Sparrows patch on there, guys. So don't worry about that. But thanks to my good friend, Mr. Happy, I could always do something really, really cool like this here. That looks good on there, doesn't it? Now it's a mountain mix set. I like that. The Reaper will be living with the Reaper patch on it though, guys, because I honestly have the sticker. I already have the sticker of this that came in a covered instrument sticker pack that Greg sent me with my bundle of locks. And I'm a big fan of the tarot card type stuff anyway. I've been a tarot reader since I was about 10 or 11 years old. My mother's sister, my Aunt Dee, who is watching sometimes. I hope Aunt Dee gets to see this since I mentioned her. But my Aunt Dee is a tarot reader and into horoscopes and star charts and that sort of thing. She kind of got me into all that stuff at a very young age. And I've been playing around with tarot cards and doing readings all of my life since then. And I really like some of the tarot card stickers that I got from Covert, as well as the ones that Lockjaw have with the locksmith on them. I think that's really cool. And at some point, I would really like to get that hoodie or something else cool with it on there from them, because I just really dig that. So maybe someday I'll see if I can get myself one of those. Let's see what you guys are saying real quick. The Church of Lock Sport. Yes, Dean, one of these days. Really like the bottom of Keyway Reaper turners. Wish they sold those three separately. Really, Mr. Happy? I didn't know they don't sell them separately. I like them a lot too. But as much as it pains me to say it, when I've already been talking about how much I love these, that's exactly the kind of thing I've grown to get sadly accustomed to with Covert. Many of you have heard me make that complaint about them on multiple products. I was telling Skip the same thing when I talked to him earlier today. I don't care for the way they don't sell certain things individually, but I don't want to go down that road right now because people will get the wrong impression. And I really do love this kit, so I'm just going to leave it at that for now. Let's see. Thank you, Skip. Love you too, brother. You can remove the stitching on some of the Reaper patch and turn it into a secret stash patch. Yeah, I thought about that too, Dean. I'm a really big fan of my Sparrows stash patch. And I've actually got two of them. So I haven't decided exactly what I'm going to do with that second one yet, but it's definitely going to be one of them. The one of them I bought is definitely going to end up on a really cool denim jacket or something soon. Among all my other patches, I will be adding not only that, but I will be adding my Mountain Mick patch, of course. I will be adding my Night Watch patch that I got from Lockjaw. Very beautiful patch. I don't have it out here right now. It's in the vault, but I can always grab that thing if anybody really wants to see it. I'm pretty sure there's enough of them floating around right now that you guys are familiar. And hopefully I can get the Berserker, and I think the Assassin's a little too unattainable for me right now, but I'd like to get the Berserker and maybe the Blue Whale sometime in the near future. I've just got to put in some more work. My friend Argyle is sending over his Berserker kits for me to give it a shot, and I will still be trying to make an attempt at that with my beloved Mace kit. So you guys can maybe watch me do that live and pull for me trying to get the Berserker with the maces. And if I fail really hard to do it after a few times, maybe then, but only then, will I consider using some full picks instead. Let's see. Should be able to stick a poker chip on the top magnetic flap of my case. I'm not sure why I would do that, Dean, but good to know. Oh, I see. You and Delbert are talking about this part. Yeah. Actually, I'm going to see if my Walkcade mace set will fit up in there. It's a little snug, but I got a feeling that the Walkcade set with the maces will fit in there. I hope it's not too blasphemous from too many of you guys to put some Sparrows stuff in my CI case. But maybe if I start doing that, people will get the idea that Mountain Mick loves both and is not a tribal divisive a-hole. Dean says his mom's good at tarot reading because they are gypsies. Yeah, my people are Northern Irish traveler gypsies, Dean. And my wife is Irish Italian, so she's a bit of both kinds. They definitely still have the Black Madonna and all of that in her family. Let's see here. A green witch. Yeah, I think that my wife would also consider herself to be an earthy green witch type of lady, Dean. Totally get that. Delbert says they sell all the turners at the chop shop, so maybe check out the chop shop and see if you can get these turners in there. I'm happy to hear that, Delbert. The more they do that kind of thing, the more I like them. As I've said many times, my only complaints stem from things like that. I wish they had an Apex FNG. I wish the Apex would hurry up and get in the chop shop. I've heard it is coming. And I really wish for my hardcore lovers of the jackknife style tools, I wish that they would release the FU pick into the chop shop as an option. I have met several people who already have the regular companion and would be absolutely thrilled to add the FU pick to their collection, even if it was like 50 or 60 bucks, which I think is fair. So maybe they should work on getting that in there. I don't know. I'm definitely in no place to tell them how to run their business. It's just, it seems like a no-brainer to me. But I've also got opinions on why they don't, and I will save those opinions for myself because opinions are just that, opinions. And my opinions, I'm glad you guys hang out and listen to me, but there's definitely a masterful large group of people with more experience and whatnot to tell you those sort of things. But I just try to stay in my lane and stay entertaining and friendly, and hope to improve my skills as well as my ability to spread life advice and lock sport love to everyone. The seals, I believe, were the first to use stash patches, add escape implements on the inside of their flag patch. I did not know that, Dan. That's a good little piece of info. I didn't know that the Navy SEALs were using their flag patches for stashes, but that's a cool thing, man. Thanks for sharing that little tidbit, Dean. If they allow it someday, I'll get the assassin patch, but it's gonna probably take me quite a while. I really need that patch. I feel you, Dean. That one is a pretty patch, dude. There we go. I had it open and didn't twist it hard enough. So, I gotta say, um, I really like the number 5 thus far. It's the deepest one of the Reaper set, but it seems to be a pretty formidable deep hook. And that's no surprise to me. I just, as you guys know, I just got these bad boys, so I'm still in the testing phase. And I'll be trying some more out. I'll be sure to make some really cool videos. Let me swing around here and talk to you guys for a minute. I'm basically running into the putting away my tools, saying my goodbyes, and checking what all you guys are talking about portion of the video. Nope, tools belong in the toolbox, Delbert says. Delbert, I feel both ways about that, honestly. There's certain tools that will never leave my home in the lab because I don't want them out in the wild. There are others for that reason that I do have for EDC. And I think that it's good to have options for both. Some things are too nice to go out into the world and need to be protected as such. Other things are good for bringing around with you for their portability's sake, and because it's always nice to have some good quality stuff on you even when you're out and about, which is why I'm very fond of these guys. I had to sneak out of the back of my phone and get into this video just like all the other ones that I try to. So, big shout out to Walt Cade who made me this case. I always like to throw Walt's name out there whenever I got these babies out. I got them out to see if there was any way I could get them in this bad boy, and I really hope it fits. Oh, yeah. That's going to be perfect. Perfect. I was really hoping that that would work. For anybody who's curious in the future, you can fit your Sparrows Mace 1 and 2 in its Walt Cade 3D print up in the top of one of these Reaper cases or Echelon cases. And I guess the Genesis comes in the same case. You guys will have to confirm that for me, but really stoked to see that I can get the room back in the back of my phone. And since I had plans of using this new Reaper set to be my in-pocket everyday carries, I'm really super stoked to see that my mace kit is also going to be able to hang out in there. So basically now my Sparrows curve turners, I will have to decide, but I think they will start to just live in the lab again, and I will stop taking them out with me because I have so many quality turners in the Reaper set. So the Sparrows will be able to hang out at home with all of my beautiful mini Sparrows kit, and naturally I will be carrying my escort with my Reaper and maces anyway. So I think that if you are considering packaging yourself a really good everyday carry kit, this, now that I have it all here to show you, is the type of thing I would recommend. Get yourself your jackknife of choice. Of course, mine is the Escort that Georgia Jim sent over to me. Big thank you to George Jim for that. He also sent me the curve turners. I still love these things and use them every day. Thank you for that, Jim. But yeah, I will be having this, and of course, this beauty we showed earlier, both in my pockets. And now that I have this awesome Reaper set, courtesy of Mr. Matlak, thank you, Mr. Nick Matlak, for blessing me with the Reaper set. I'm really digging it. I will be using it a lot more tonight when I finish this video camera and stuff. And I can't wait to try out these top of keyway turners in the vise, because I have seen a lot of really, really top shelf pickers using those things for their vise picks. So I can't wait to see how they operate there. Um, I'm just getting all my little turners snuck back into my Reaper here where they belong. And I just want to show anyone who's curious the way that the entire kit fits together and sits very well in this case. Um, I've almost got it, guys, so just bear with me for a moment and I'll show you the total package. Alright, excellent. So basically, in my daily EDC, we've got the good old Ozark Trail. Dean P, shout out. Thank you for putting me onto that Walmart special, brother. My Sparrows Escort, which I will be adding some monkey paws and other cool stuff to in the near future. And now, thanks to Mr. Nick Matlak, I've got the Reaper, which I will be able to keep in my pocket and use this sweet magnetic case. And since it is accommodating, I can fold it over this way. On one side, I will have my fantastic Reaper profile set and a multitude of really solid turners, maybe the best turners I own now. We're going to find out. And then in the back, of course, I will have my favorite go-to Mace 1 and 2 kit with the Walkcade 3D printed case in it as well. So I am feeling about as blessed as a man can get. Thank you, Nick Matlak, for sending the Reaper over to Mountain Nick. I really enjoy furthering my CI collection. I think it's going to help everybody who thinks I hate them open their eyes to the fact that while I am very much still involved and affiliated with Sparrows, still very much going to get the tattoo on my neck and continue to do everything I can with and for them in that capacity, I will also continue to bring you guys all the content that I am able to, using all the different tools from all the different suppliers I can get my hands on. Hopefully, I will be getting myself a Moki Explorer set by Christmas. I really dig the ones Elroy's Toys I got. If you guys see him using those, that's exactly the kind of thing I'm looking to get. So shout out to him. Very good choice there. Any tips to make a woman so dependent on you she can't ever leave? Just be a fucking great guy and be loyal, Chili Dillon 98. If you want your woman to be dependent on you, then maybe you're looking for the wrong kind of woman. My woman could operate perfectly fine without me and move on at any time. It's more about showing my worth to her to be able to keep her as a valued partner, my friend. You want someone that improves your quality of life, but also whose quality of life you can help improve. It's about filling in the gaps in your tool set, just like picks, my friend. So maybe looking for a woman who is trapped with you because she's dependent on you is not the way to go about looking for a mate, my friend. I would look for a stronger woman who can handle herself, but for whatever reason loves you enough to never leave. That's what I've got, and that's what I would advise for all of you. Let's see here. Will they fit in the car slot in the Reaper? Ceramic razor. I don't know about that. You'll have to ask him. Is it a McTickler in that set? Oh, Mick, I sent you a link to the tech covert card for you to check out. Yeah, there is a McTickler in the set, Dean. It's the number 2 out of the set. Do you not have a McTickler, Dean? If you don't have a McTickler, Dean, let me know. please. The Reaper set was the introduction in the world to the McTickler. Yes, Chuck Soup is correct. The McTickler was introduced in the Reaper, and either the Evo 3 or 4, you have to double check on that one. One of those two sets of Apex, either the 3 or 4, has a McTickler profile, and from what my boy the Red Bridge Butcher shows me, it is a little meatier than the original McTickler. So it's not quite the same exactly, but it is very similar and looks to be a really solid profile as well. The McTickler is really good for zipping and for SPP. Chuck says he's got both the McTickler and the double McTickler with the Apex handles. Yeah, exactly, Chuck. They've got both going there. Good night, Skip. Thank you for coming. You don't have a McTickler, Dean? Well, I will send you one, my friend. My friend Nick Matlak hooked me up with a couple of extras when he sent me the one that I've been using. And now that he has blessed me with this one, that means I have one that I can send you free of charge just because I love you, buddy. So I will definitely send that over to you, Dean P. I love you, big guy. And because they were shared with me, and I love to also share things, I will hook you up with a McTickler, homie. The least I could do for you, my friend. Alright, guys. We still have almost pushed through to 3.5 hours now, and my dinner is almost finished. I can hear the timer clicking down on it now. So, this is the point where Mountain Mick will be wrapping the video up. Thank you to everyone who came through and hung out with me tonight. As always, we ran way over on what I expected to, but that's how long lives do. I don't do it on purpose, Dean. I started out wanting to do about an hour of showing these and picking with these, and I always end up running about double whatever I set out to do. And it's got a lot to do with engagement, Dean. The more people are enjoying themselves and asking questions, and the more I respond to them, the more I tend to accidentally, end up running a little longer. So that's how it really happens, man. Yeah, that's the triquetra. It's a very big deal to us Irish folk. My dad has had that shirt for a while. My last motorcycle was actually named Trinity. The triquetra, as you know, was my original symbol for Mountain Mick. And if you look really close in the design that Blake whipped up for me of Mountain Mick, he kept the triquetra in my new logo, so it will forever still be there for all of us to enjoy. Right about there is in my crest, he added the triquetra. So it's still very much a part of the Mountain Mick. And it is the Celtic Irish knot symbol for Trinity. And Irish knot is all meant to be a symbol of infinity. The actual infinity symbol, of course, is more of the sideways 8. But the idea is that the circle or line we use for Irish knot, just like this tattoo that I have, is unbroken. My wife likes to trace around the shamrock on my shoulder. It is all one long line, like all of the Celtic knotwork. Anyway, I hope maybe you'll jump on a live here in a little bit, Dean. I'd love to hang out in one where I'm not on camera when I get done doing this here. But that's pretty much all I've got for you guys. I think I've milked this one as long and hard as I can. Thanks to everybody who showed up, hung out, and enjoyed all of this with me. And I'm just going to give one final quick show of my Reaper here. This is the Reaper, the Lock Reaper, as it says here. It is the McNally. There's his name up there. So this is the McNally Locked Reaper. It is a Covert Instruments product, and you can get yourself one if you go to their website. I'm really stoked that he got me the gray case because that's the one that I wanted, and I'm still kind of astounded that I had a friend cool enough to send me this thing. I honestly thought it might be another 6 months to a year before I got to play with one of these because I've got so much other things going on. Um, so yeah, big thanks to Nick Matlak for getting this thing out to me. It was a complete and total surprise. Um, I will be making a ton of new content using these bad boys, and I will also be sure that I make some more with one of my new favorite profiles. I have the Greyhound dog legs. The 15's over in the case. I usually just break out the 20 and the 25. But anyway, just wanted to give another quick shout out to Greyhound and also to Delbert for making these happen for me, okay? Because between the Greyhound dog legs and the new Reaper, Mountain Mick is really feeling happy and got a whole lot of fun new picking profiles to try and beat this silly pack lock with. So maybe we'll get her open tonight. I will be spending some time late into the hours of the night trying to get this thing open on the vise. I couldn't even give it a shot here today because my vise is the camera holder. Anyway, that's going to be all Mountain Mick has for you today. Thanks for hanging with me to the bitter end here, D&P. I'm just getting ready to eat my dinner as well, sir. All you guys have a great night. Happy picking. And hey there, DXB. I'm just signing out for everybody here. So, Greyhound, brother, I don't know if you saw it, but I was just re-showing your awesome picks. Mr. Happy, thank you for hanging in there. All you guys who are still here, thank you so much for kicking it with Mountain Mick. I appreciate having support all the way up to the end, even though I did stretch us out way past where I usually tend to do, but that's just something I always tend to do. So yes, if you're here long enough to hit the like before we get out of here, double tap the screen, give me the thumbs up, subscribe, and rewatch this video when I have it uploaded in a little while, or whenever you have time. Mountain Mick will have some awesome new content coming your way with the Reaper and with the Greyhound dog legs, and very soon, hopefully, I will be belting up and 200K in it with the rest of all my buddies. Thanks everybody who came in early, to the couple of guys that snuck in while they were at work. I appreciate the love from all of you. Mountain Mick's out of here, guys. Thank you.